In the heart of Yellowstone's untamed wilderness stood the Grand Fountain Hotel, a beacon of elegance and luxury in the summer of 1900. Surrounded by the park's breathtaking landscapes, the hotel was a symbol of human achievement amidst nature's majestic beauty. It attracted travelers far and wide, eager to experience the comfort it offered in the midst of the wild. Into the scene of refinement stepped Leroy R. Piper, a 36-year-old visitor from Ohio. With a demeanor quieter than the lively guests around him, Piper seemed almost an enigma. His eyes held a depth that suggested a man on a quest, not just through the vast park, but perhaps a journey within himself. Yet no one could have guessed his arrival at the Fountain Hotel would soon weave his name into one of Yellowstone's most enduring mysteries. Inside the walls of the Fountain Hotel, luxury reigned supreme. Polished wooden floors shone under the warm lights of chandeliers, while guests with their finest attire filled the grand hall with laughter and animated discussions. They shared tales of the day's adventures, from sightings of bison herds to the mesmerizing eruption of geysers, creating a lively atmosphere of excitement and wonder. Amid this vibrant social scene, Leroy R. Piper made his entrance, his presence contrasting with the exuberance around him. With a quiet grace, he navigated through the crowds, a solitary figure among groups of animated guests. His demeanor was reserved, almost reflective, as if he were a silent observer to the festivities rather than a participant. The air of introspection amidst the hustle and bustle of the hotel hinted at the mysteries untold, setting the stage for a puzzle that would soon unfold around him. On his final evening, Leroy Piper was seen dining alone, a quiet observer in the dining room of the Fountain Hotel. He ate as if memorizing every detail of his surroundings. After his meal, he purchased a cigar, a simple act that marked the beginning of a profound mystery. With the cigar in his hand, Piper stepped out into the night, leaving the warmth and light of the hotel behind for the cool, starlit wilderness of Yellowstone National Park. When Piper did not return, concern quickly rippled through the hotel. Initially, there were hopes he might have taken a longer walk than originally thought, captivated by the nocturnal beauty of the park. But as hours turned into days without a sign of him, worry deepened. A search was organized, with hotel staff and volunteers combing the nearby woods and meadows, calling out his name and hoping for a response. The park's vastness made the search daunting. Detachments of cavalry were even brought in, their horses thundering through the landscape, yet no trace of Piper was found. As the search expanded, so did the concern among the hotel guests and the local community. The mysterious circumstances of Piper's disappearance became the focus of whispered conversations and speculative theories. What happened to the quiet man from Ohio after he stepped into the Yellowstone night? The search expanded quickly, with teams venturing deeper into Yellowstone's rugged wilderness. The terrain itself posed significant challenges, with dense forests, steep ravines, and unpredictable geysers and hot springs that dotted the landscape. Despite these obstacles, searchers remained determined, driven by the hope of finding any clue that might reveal Piper's whereabouts. As the search continued with no success, theories and rumors began to swirl among the hotel guests and staff. Some speculated that Piper, perhaps overwhelmed by personal thoughts, had wandered off, losing his way in the vast park. Others whispered of a more sinister fate, suggesting he might have encountered foul play or fallen victim to the wild animals that roamed the area. The mystery deepened with each passing day, and the lack of evidence only fueled further speculation. The park's natural beauty became a backdrop to a growing list of possible scenarios, each more puzzling than the last. Among the staff and guests, the question of Piper's fate became a topic of constant discussion, with everyone offering their own theories, but no one able to provide answers. The disappearance of the quiet man had turned into a mystery that captivated and confounded the imagination of all who heard about it. The Fountain Hotel, nestled in Yellowstone splendor, was surrounded by attractions that drew guests closer to the wild heart of the park. Notably, a bear feeding station behind the hotel offered thrilling encounters with nature as guests watched from a safe distance. The bears came to feast on scraps. Additionally, the area was renowned for its geothermal wonders, with geysers and hot springs painting a landscape both beautiful and volatile. These attractions, while marvels to behold, posed inherent hazards that cannot be overlooked, especially in light of Piper's mysterious disappearance. The bear feeding station, though a source of entertainment, highlighted the presence of wild and potentially dangerous animals in the vicinity. This proximity to wildlife sparked concerns that Piper might have had an unexpected encounter with a bear leading to his disappearance. The geothermal features, with their boiling water and unpredictable eruptions, presented a natural danger. The mesmerizing beauty of these sites could easily lure a visitor too close, with perilous consequences. In the wake of Piper's vanishing, some wondered if he had ventured to admire these natural wonders, only to fall victim to their hidden dangers. As speculation grew, these attractions and their risks became a focal point in the discussion about what might have happened to Piper. The natural beauty and potential peril underscored the mysterious circumstances of his disappearance, adding layers of intrigue and concern to the unfolding story. Following Leroy R. Piper's disappearance, the Fountain Hotel's once vibrant atmosphere shifted to one of unease and whispering curiosity. The lively conversations and laughter that had filled the grand halls and dining room were now tinged with the hushed tones of speculation and concern. Guests moved with a newfound wariness, their thoughts occupied by the unsolved mystery of the man who vanished into the night. Piper's room, left exactly it was before he stepped out, became a silent testament to the mystery. The bed, untouched since that evening, and his belongings scattered as if he would return at any moment, served as a haunting reminder to all those who passed by. The hotel staff, respecting the gravity of the situation, preserved the room's state, allowing no one to enter. It stood as a sort of shrine over a frozen moment in time, embodying the unanswered questions surrounding Piper's fate. This change affected everyone at the Fountain Hotel. Guests whispered their theories and rumors among themselves, while staff members shared concerned glances, all feeling the weight of the mystery that had taken over their once peaceful retreat. The disappearance of Piper had cast a shadow over the hotel, transforming it from a place of escape and wonder to a setting of enduring mystery. The search for Piper extended beyond the immediate vicinity of the Fountain Hotel, reaching to the furthest corners of Yellowstone Park. Despite the exhaustive efforts, which included combing through dense forests, navigating the rugged terrain, and scrutinizing every potential clue, the search parties came up empty-handed. No evidence of Piper's whereabouts ever emerged, deepening the mystery and frustrating those involved. As the search expanded, so too did the theories about what might have happened to Piper. Some suggested he might have accidentally fallen into one of the many geothermal features, a tragic misstep, leaving no trace behind. Others speculated about a possible criminal element, suggesting Piper could have been the victim of foul play, a theory supported by the absence of any clues or witnesses. Speculative theories also circulated, ranging from the idea that Piper, seeking solitude, had intentionally vanished into the wilderness to start anew, to other notions involving wild animals or even supernatural explanations. Each theory, while differing in details, underscored the collective need to make sense of the unexplainable disappearance. As speculation mounted, the mystery of what happened to the quiet man from Ohio continued to captivate and confound, becoming a haunting element of Yellowstone National Park's history and lore. Years after Leroy R. Piper's disappearance, the grandeur of the Fountain Hotel eventually faded into history. By 1916, the once bustling hotel had closed its doors, and in 1927, it was demolished, leaving behind only memories and stories. Among these tales, Piper's vanishing act remained one of the most captivating, a mystery that has lingered in the shadows of Yellowstone's past, untouched by time. Leroy R. Piper's story has left an indelible mark on Yellowstone's history and the experiences of those who visit. It has become a testament to the park's capacity to awe and also to mystify, offering a narrative that compels as much as it warns. Visitors are drawn not only to Yellowstone's natural wonder, but also to the stories and mysteries embedded in its landscape, with Piper's tale being among the most compelling. Reflecting on the nature of unsolved mysteries, Piper's disappearance underscores their profound impact on our collective imagination. These stories, particularly ones as enduring as Piper's, resonates through time, offering endless possibilities and inviting speculation. They remind us the limits of our understanding and the allure of the unknown. In the vastness of places like Yellowstone, mysteries such as Leroy Piper's not only endure, they become a part of the fabric, intriguing new generations and keeping the spirit of exploration and wonder alive. Kian McLaughlin, at the age of 27, epitomized the spirit of adventure and the love for the great outdoors. Hailing from Dublin, Ireland, Kian found his second home amidst the rugged beauty of Jackson, Wyoming. Here, he embraced the dual life of a snowboard instructor by winter and a bar worker by summer, thriving in the seasonal rhythms of this picturesque locale. Kian's zest for life and nature was infectious, mirrored in his own eagerness to explore, to meet new people, and to push the boundaries of his own experiences. On June 8th of 2021, Kian set out for what was supposed to be a routine solo hike in the breathtaking expanse of the Grand Teton National Park, a place as renowned for its stunning vistas as it is respected for its untamed wilderness. However, this hike would lead to a mystery that captured the hearts and minds of all who knew him. Kian's failure to return marked the beginning of a deep and unsettling mystery, plunging friends, family, and the wider community into a state of shock and concern. The vibrant young man, known for his friendly demeanor and robust outdoor skills, vanished without a trace, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and a palpable sense of urgency among those desperate to find him. Kian McLaughlin wasn't just an ordinary young man. His life was full of rich experiences and deep connections, woven from both sides of the Atlantic. Born in Dublin, Ireland, Kian carried within him a vibrant culture of his homeland, yet he was equally rooted in the American experience, thanks to his dual citizenship. This unique blend of identities shaped him into a person who was as comfortable in the bustling streets of Dublin as he was on the serene, snow-capped slopes of Wyoming. Wyoming offered Kian a canvas as vast and open as his ambitions. As a snowboard instructor, he found joy in gliding down the slopes, his days marked by the exhilarating rush of cold air and the sight of fresh snow underfoot. But Kian's love for the outdoors was not confined to winter months. Hiking through the rugged terrains of Grand Teton National Park, he sought adventure in the wilderness, each new trail a chapter in his ongoing exploration of the natural world. Kian's life in Wyoming was more than just a thrill of outdoor sports. It was also about the connections he forged. With a personality that radiated warmth and genuine interest in those around him, Kian became a beloved figure in both his professional and personal circles. Friends from Ireland and the U.S. cherished his companionship, remembering him for his easy laugh, his willingness to listen, and his knack for making every conversation memorable. Before his disappearance, Kian's plans were as simple as they were reflective of his love for nature, a solo hike in the breathtaking expanse of Grand Teton. It was an activity he had undertaken many times before, yet this time it would lead to an outcome that none could have anticipated. The mystery of what happened on that trail remains, but the essence of who Kian was, a man of adventure, camaraderie, and boundless spirit, remains remembered in the hearts of those who knew him. On a day like any other, under the clear blue skies of early June, Kian McLaughlin set out alone to embrace the park. It was a place that promised solitude and adventure, a sanctuary where nature's beauty was as overwhelming as it was serene. His plan was simple, a day hike, an escape into the wild that had become a ritual, a way to reconnect with the earth beneath his feet and the sky above. This hike, however, would unfold into a narrative far removed from the ordinary, marking the beginning of a profound mystery that would captivate all who heard it. As the hours turned into days without any sign of Kian, concern quickly mounted. His absence was out of character, a puzzle that those close to him couldn't piece together. When he failed to show up for work, alarm bells rang. Kian was known for his reliability, his punctuality, and his unwavering commitment to his job. His sudden silence and his unexplained absence spoke volumes. It was then that the reality of the situation sank in. Kian McLaughlin had vanished. The initial search effort sprang from a place of urgency and hope. Teams fanned out across the park, calling his name, hoping for a response. The rugged terrain of the Tetons, with its vast forests, steep slopes, and hidden valleys, became the focus of an intensive search operation. Park rangers, volunteers, and search dogs combed the area, looking for any clue, any sign of Cian. Helicopters buzzed overhead, their eyes scanning the ground below. Each day that passed without a trace of him deepened the mystery, fueling both the determination of the searchers and the growing fear that the wilderness he loved might have claimed him. The search for Cian McLaughlin evolved into an extensive operation that tapped into a broad arsenal of resources and expertise. Park rangers, alongside a committed group of volunteers, initiated a thorough combing of Grand Teton National Park. Dogs trained to track human scent traversed the rugged landscape, their noses diligently working, while helicopters roared overhead, breaking the natural silence. These helicopters weren't just eyes in the sky. They were equipped with infrared technology designed to detect heat signatures, a beacon of hope in locating Cian against the vast, wild backdrop. Yet, the search was far from straightforward. The beauty of Grand Teton National Park are at odds with the challenges that its terrain presents. In the spring, the park transforms, a period of rebirth that also ushers in a phase of unpredictability. Snowmelt accelerates, feeding into rivers and creating a landscape that is constantly changing. Ice lurks beneath the surface, a treacherous layer hidden from view. This was the setting of the search for Cian, a place where every step could lead to discovery or danger. These conditions compounded the difficulties faced by the search teams. The melting snow and ice not only made the terrain hazardous, but also obscured trails and potential clues to Cian's whereabouts. As each day passed, the melting snow reshaped the landscape, potentially erasing paths taken or signs left behind. The natural beauty of the Tetons, with its sprawling vistas and hidden valleys, became a daunting labyrinth in the quest to find Cian, a reminder of nature's power to both awe and challenge those who venture into its domain. The disappearance of Cian McLaughlin reverberated deeply within his family, casting a shadow of profound worry and heartache. At the heart of this emotional storm stood Cian's mother, whose determination to find her son became a beacon of hope amidst the uncertainty. Her resolve to bring Cian home was unwavering, fueled by a mother's love and the relentless desire for resolution. Her strength in the face of such adversity inspired all who joined the search, embodying a hope that refused to dim, even as the days turned into weeks without signs of Cian. In their quest for answers, Cian's families reached out to the wider community, issuing a public appeal that resonated with both locals and visitors of Grand Teton National Park. They urged anyone who had been in the park around the time of Cian's disappearance to look through their photographs, hoping that, by some stroke of fate, a clue to Cian's whereabouts might have been accidentally captured. This request, simple yet profound, tapped into a collective desire to help, mobilizing eyes and hearts across the globe in search for one man lost in the wilderness. The family's appeal transcended borders, touching the hearts of many who have never met Cian, but felt moved by the story of a young man with an infectious love for life and adventure. It was a reminder of the threads of humanity that connect us all, a call to action that spoke to the very essence of community and solidarity. In the face of the unknown, Cian's family stood resilient, their voices a testament to the enduring hope that one day Cian would be found and brought home. In the midst of the relentless search, the efforts encountered a bewildering twist. Heather Mykoski, a woman who claimed to have seen Cian on the day of his disappearance, provided a detailed account that sent ripples of hope through the hearts of the search teams and Cian's family. Her vivid description of a conversation with Cian pointed searchers towards a specific area of the park, redirecting resources and focus with a promise of a break in the case. However, this beacon of hope dimmed to darkness when it was revealed that Mykoski's sighting was fabricated, a false lead that steered the search efforts away from potential clues to Cian's actual whereabouts. The revelation of the false sighting was not just a setback, it was a significant blow to the morale of those involved in the search. Valuable time and resources had been expended on a lead that led nowhere, all while the window of opportunity to find Cian narrowed. Mykoski faced consequences for her actions, including a ban from Grand Teton National Park and a financial penalty, but the true cost of her fabrication was measured in the precious hours lost and the emotional turmoil on Cian's family rallying for his return. In the shadows of this deception, the mystery of Cian's disappearance deepened. Other potential sightings and pieces of information surfaced, including items Cian was believed to have carried with him. An Apple Watch, an iPhone, gold wire-rimmed sunglasses, a silver U-shaped pendant, and a white t-shirt. These details, while seemingly minor, held the potential to unravel the mystery surrounding Cian's fate. The public was urged to come forward with any information, no matter how insignificant it might have seemed, in the hope that Cian could still be found. The search for truth, hindered by false leads, continued under the weight of unanswered questions and the unwavering hope for a resolution. The search for Cian McLaughlin remains an open wound in the heart of Grand Teton National Park, a stark reminder of nature's vast and unfathomable depths. Despite the passage of time, the determination of Cian's family, along with the commitment of authorities, has not wavered. Their hope, though tested, persists, fueled by the belief that answers are still out there, waiting to be found. This enduring quest for closure underscores a collective resolve to uncover the truth of what happened to Cian on that June day, a resolve that resonates with all who hear his story. The call to action remains as vital as ever. Anyone who might hold a piece of the puzzle, no matter how small or inconsequential it may seem, is urged to come forward. Each piece of information is a potential key, a chance to piece together Cian's last steps, and ultimately to provide his family with the answers that they desperately seek. It is a call not just for information, but for compassion and solidarity in the face of uncertainty. This story, while deeply personal, echoes a universal reminder of the risks inherent in our explorations of the wild. It reinforces the critical importance of preparation and safety in all our outdoor activities, urging hikers and adventurers to inform others of their plans and to respect the unpredictable nature of the wilderness. For the outdoor and hiking community, Cian's disappearance serves as a lesson in the balance between the freedom of adventure and the respect and caution that the natural world demands. As the search continues, the mystery of Cian McLaughlin's disappearance remains a somber narrative within the grand tapestry of outdoor exploration. It is a narrative that calls on us to reflect on our interactions with nature, to prioritize safety and awareness, and to remember the fragile thread that connects us to the wild and to each other. Derek Lueking, a 24-year-old man from Louisville, Tennessee, was known for being dependable and organized. The following day, his car was found parked at Newfound Gap, a popular spot in the mountains. Inside the car, a note with the unsettling message, "Do not look for me," sparked a wide-scale search. This cryptic message, coupled with Derek's sudden and unexplained absence, left everyone grappling with numerous unanswered questions, shrouding his disappearance in a deep mystery. In the weeks leading up to his disappearance, Derek's behavior began to subtly change. His roommate, Ryan, and Derek's family noticed he was starting to drink and smoke, habits that were out of character for him. Derek also seemed increasingly withdrawn, adding to their growing concern about his well-being. On March 15th of 2012, a routine morning took a concerning turn. Derek failed to show up for his job at Peninsula Hospital, an unusual deviation for someone known for his punctuality and reliability. Ryan recalled the morning vividly. Derek's alarm was blaring as he left for work, an odd occurrence since Derek typically woke up and turned it off promptly. Compounding the worry, Derek's computer revealed searches for the Great Smoky Mountains and a reservation at a micro-hotel in Cherokee, North Carolina. These findings were puzzling, as Derek had not mentioned any plans to anyone that he was going to travel. This unexpected discovery intensified the mystery, leading his family and friends to question what Derek was seeking in the remote wilderness. Upon realizing Derek was missing, his family acted quickly. Alarmed by his unexplained absence and the concerning details on his computer, they drove overnight from Virginia to Tennessee. Their urgency was fueled by worry and the hope of finding Derek safe. When Derek's family reached the hotel in Cherokee, North Carolina, they encountered a room that seemed frozen in a moment of contemplation. A Bible lay open on the bed, and nearby, a bottle of liquor was found on the floor, items that hinted Derek may have been wrestling with a tough decision. The scene was eerie, with personal belongings left as if Derek would return at any moment, yet he was nowhere to be found. The trail led to the newfound gap, where Derek's white Ford Escape was parked in the lower lot. Inside the car, the atmosphere thickened with mystery. The family found Derek's wallet and keys, which he would typically take with him. Most striking was a note left in the vehicle with the words, "Don't look for me." This cryptic message, combined with his belongings left behind, deepened the puzzle of his disappearance and left everyone grappling with more questions than answers. The discovery of the cryptic note in Derek's car cast a shadow over the investigation into his disappearance. Written simply, the message was both stark and puzzling, leaving a chilling air of mystery. This note did not specify a recipient, which only deepened the intrigue and speculation about its intended meaning. Derek's family and the authorities were left to interpret this puzzling piece of evidence. The note suggested a desire for solitude, or perhaps an intention to vanish without a trace, yet it was ambiguous enough to keep all possibilities open. His family was torn between distress and confusion. They pondered whether Derek was signaling a need to escape life's pressures, or if it indicated something more ominous. The ambiguity of the message made it difficult for everyone involved to gauge Derek's mental state at the time that he left. Authorities considered the possibility of a planned disappearance, but the note's vague wording left them uncertain about whether Derek might have been in distress or contemplating harm to himself. This single piece of paper, left in the silence of his parked car, became a central piece of the puzzle, heavily influencing the search and rescue efforts and the theories about Derek's eventual fate. The search for Derek was an extensive and challenging operation. It involved scores of search and rescue personnel, including park rangers, volunteers, and specially trained dogs. Helicopters buzzed overhead, scanning the rugged terrain of the Great Smoky Mountains, an area known for its dense forests and steep cliffs. Despite the considerable resources deployed, the search teams faced the daunting task of covering a vast and treacherous landscape. The community around the Smokies and beyond rallied to the cause, moved by the mysterious circumstances of Derek's disappearance. Local media covered the story extensively, broadcasting Derek's photos and the details of his last known location, hoping to drum up any leads. This widespread attention helped galvanize a network of hikers and visitors to be on the lookout, expanding the eyes and the ears on the ground in the operation. For Derek's family and friends, the public's engagement brought both comfort and sorrow. The visibility of the search kept their hopes alive, yet each passing day without news served as a reminder of the grim possibilities. The emotional toll was palpable, with each media update and community search effort reigniting a mix of hope and heartache. This period was marked by a blend of community support and the stark reality of an ongoing mystery with few answers. Derek's disappearance spurred a range of theories, each reflecting the mysterious nature of his vanishing. One prominent theory suggested that Derek might have planned to disappear and live off the land. Another theory considered the possibility of foul play or an unfortunate accident. The remote and wild terrain of the Great Smoky Mountains could easily be the scene of an accidental mishap, or, less likely, a criminal act, given the circumstances surrounding the discovery of his car and belongings. Psychological factors played a significant role in the speculation. Derek's recent behavioral changes and the cryptic note left behind hinted at a troubled state of mind. This led some to ponder whether he was grappling with personal issues that might have driven him to seek solitude or even contemplate more dire actions. Comparatively, the Smoky Mountains have been the backdrop for other missing person cases that remained unsolved, adding a layer of intrigue and historical mystery to Derek's case. The similarity between cases often involved sudden disappearances, minimal clues, and vast search areas, compounding the challenges for search teams and increasing the speculation among the public and investigators alike. Derek Lueking's family has remained steadfast in their efforts to uncover the truth behind his mysterious disappearance. Determined not to let Derek's story fade into obscurity, they have launched several social media campaigns aimed at spreading awareness and gathering new information. These online efforts have kept Derek's case in the public eye, attracting tips and encouraging those who may know something to come forward. Additionally, the family has actively engaged with hikers and tourists visiting the Great Smoky Mountains. They have distributed flyers and set up information booths at key trailheads, pleading with park visitors to keep an eye out for any sign of Derek. This direct engagement has not only helped maintain a visible presence in the area, but has also enlisted the help of a community of outdoor enthusiasts who frequent the park. The ongoing search has taken a profound emotional and psychological toll on the family. The uncertainty surrounding Derek's fate weighs heavy on their hearts, with each passing day adding to a burden of not knowing. Despite this, they continue to hold on to hope, driven by love and the relentless desire for closure. Their efforts underscore a deep commitment to finding answers, fueled by the belief that someone out there holds the key to solving the mystery of Derek's disappearance. As of today, the case of Derek Lueking remains unresolved, with his whereabouts still unknown. The search efforts have dwindled over the years, but his family continues to seek answers, holding on to the hope that new information will eventually surface. The mysterious note and Derek's sudden disappearance continue to puzzle both authorities and those who knew him. The unresolved nature of his case has broader implications for national park safety and missing person investigations. It highlights the challenges faced by search and rescue operations in the vast wilderness area of the Smoky Mountain National Park, and it underscores the need for improved strategies and technologies to track and locate individuals who go missing under similar circumstances. Family members, friends, and authorities have expressed a deep need for closure, not only for their peace of mind, but also to learn from Derek's case to prevent future tragedies. The ongoing mystery serves as a reminder of the unpredictability of such incidents and the profound impact it has on all whose lives are involved. The hope remains that one day, the truth about what happened to Derek Lueking will be uncovered, bringing much-needed closure to everybody touched by his story. In the dense woods of Mount Hood National Forest, the mysterious disappearance of Garen Kirk left many unanswered questions. On December 3rd of 2014, Garen, a seasoned outdoorsman, ventured alone into the forest for a routine hike. Unknown to his family and friends at the time, this trip would be unlike any other. It wasn't until 2018 that hikers stumbled upon a wallet and human remains in a remote ravine, sparking a renewed interest in his case. Finally, in June of 2022, these remains were confirmed to be Garen's, providing some closure to the haunting mystery that lingered for years. Garen Kirk was not just an avid hiker, but a devoted father and a student with aspirations. His love for the outdoors was paralleled by his commitment to furthering his education and providing for his daughter. Despite his familiarity with the wilderness of Oregon, the forest that had been his retreat would also cloud his fate in mystery. Garen Kirk was a 31-year-old man from Milwaukee, Oregon, with a life that balanced between his roles as a father, student, and outdoor enthusiast. He had spent several years in Arizona working in admissions for the University of Phoenix before returning to his hometown. There, he re-enrolled in school at Portland Community College and had just completed his first term of online courses with National University. Garen was driven, aiming to complete his bachelor's degree and eventually pursue a master's. As a father, Garen shared joint custody of his 5-year-old daughter, Gabriella. His commitment to his daughter was deep, mirroring the dedication he showed in every aspect of his life. Garen's passion for the outdoors was well known among his friends and family. He was particularly drawn to the sprawling, rugged landscapes of Mount Hood National Forest, a place he had explored numerous times. His extensive experience in hiking and camping in these woods made him familiar with its trails and terrain. The familiarity makes his mysterious disappearance all the more perplexing, as he was well versed in the skills needed to navigate such challenging environments. On the chilly morning of December 3rd, 2014, Garen Kirk set out for what was supposed to be a routine 3-day hike in the familiar terrains of Mount Hood. He planned to return by December 6th. Unlike his previous trips, this time Garen did not leave a detailed itinerary with his family, a decision that would later shroud his disappearance in mystery. Garen's absence was first noted when he failed to return home as expected. Concern grew quickly among his family members, who realized they had no specific details about his planned route or exact destinations within the vast forest. The situation escalated when his gold Pontiac Grand Am was found abandoned at Frog Lake Campground, which served as his starting point. The vehicle, parked undisturbed, offered no clues, deepening the worry for his safety. The discovery of his car prompted immediate action. Family members contacted authorities, leading to a flurry of activity as search and rescue teams prepared to scour the area. The initial reaction was a mix of urgency and confusion. Searchers faced the daunting task of piecing together Garen's possible movements in the extensive wilderness without a clear trail to follow. This lack of information would profoundly complicate the search efforts and amplify the mystery surrounding his disappearance. The full-scale search for Garen began on December 8th of 2014, a day after his abandoned vehicle was located at Frog Lake Campground. This delay was crucial. The time lost could have allowed for significant changes in weather or his situation. The challenge was not just a ticking clock, but also the vast and variable terrain of Mount Hood National Forest, known for its dense woods and steep ravines, which could hide any number of secrets. This included teams from Pacific Northwest Search and Rescue, Mountain Wave Emergency Communications, and various county sheriff's search and rescue squads. The community response was overwhelming, with around 170 volunteers participating, demonstrating the urgency and community concern for Garen. The search teams employed every tool at their disposal. Sniffer dogs were brought in, attempting to trace Garrett's scent through the forest. Infrared cameras mounted on aircraft swept the area, looking for heat signatures that could indicate his presence. Despite these advanced technologies, the rugged and sprawling nature of the landscape posed a significant obstacle. Conditions during the search added to the difficulties. The area experienced unusually damp weather and temperature that hovered just above freezing, with low snow levels that should have aided visibility, but instead contributed to the harsh conditions. After an intense week of searching that tested the resolve of everyone involved, the official search was reluctantly called off on December 15th of 2014. No significant clues had been uncovered, and Garen remained lost to the shadowy depths of the forest, leaving behind questions that the misty terrain of Mount Hood seemed unwilling to surrender. 4 years after Garen Kirk mysteriously vanished, a group of hikers made a startling discovery in a secluded ravine only about a mile from where his journey began. Among the scattered leaves and debris, they found a wallet. Inside was Garrett's driver's license, a haunting clue that linked directly to him. Near the wallet, there were also human remains, raising both hope and heartache for those who had been waiting for any news for years. The process to confirm that these remains were indeed Garen's was painstaking. DNA samples were collected and analyzed, a procedure that extended over several years. Finally, in June of 2022, the results confirmed the remains belonged to Garen. This official identification brought a complex mix of relief and profound sorrow to his family and the community that had supported the search efforts. The community felt a deep sense of loss mixed with closure as the mystery of Garen's disappearance found some form of conclusion, albeit a tragic one. The place he loved, the wilderness of Mount Hood, had kept its secret for years, only revealing it bit by bit to those who tread its paths. Confirmation of Garen Kirk's death was met with a wave of grief from his family. They experienced a bittersweet closure, relieved to finally have answers, but devastated by the loss. The resolution brought them a painful peace, ending years of agonizing uncertainty. Reflecting on the search efforts, the family expressed gratitude toward the volunteers and agencies involved, recognizing the extensive efforts made to find Garen. They also acknowledged the complexities and challenges of such searches, emphasizing the importance of preparation and clear communication. From this experience, key safety messages and advice have emerged for future hikers. The family, along with search agencies, strongly advocate for leaving detailed plans with someone before heading into the wilderness. They stressed the importance of being prepared with proper gear and knowledge of the terrain, as well as the necessity of understanding weather conditions, which can change rapidly and unpredictably. Garen Kirk's story is a reminder of the mysteries and dangers that can lurk in the beauty of our natural landscapes. His disappearance and the eventual discovery of his remains highlighted both the vulnerability of even the most experienced hikers and the relentless unpredictability of nature. The closure provided by the identification of his remains brought a profound sense of finality to his loved ones and the community. This tragic event underscores the critical need for preparedness and caution in wilderness adventures, ensuring that the memory of Garen Kirk serves as a guiding lesson for all who venture into the great outdoors. David Milton Crouch, a 27-year-old from Stevensville, Maryland, was not just any cycling enthusiast. Alongside his wife, he transformed his passion for bicycles into a thriving business, owning a local bike shop where both dreams and two-wheeled adventures were daily realities. Their lives, intertwined with the joy of cycling, epitomized a dream come true for many. David's life, deeply rooted in the love for the open road and the freedom it offered, was a testament to pursuing one's passion with vigor and dedication. However, the serene and fulfilling life David led took an unexpected turn on August 31st of 1997. On that breezy autumn day, David set out from his home, unknowingly for the last time, embarking on a hiking and fishing expedition far from the familiar landscapes of Maryland. The destination was the Teton National Forest in western Wyoming, a vast wilderness spanning over 2,000 miles from his doorstep. This was a place of rugged beauty and untamed nature, far removed from the cycling trails and community he knew so well. David, along with 3 friends and a guide, ventured into the heart of this wilderness, seeking adventure amidst its towering peaks and serene lakes. Yet, what was meant to be a journey of exploration and camaraderie swiftly veiled into a mystery that has perplexed many to this day. As the group navigated the sprawling expanse of the forest, David became separated from his companions. Intent on a solo fishing trip to Island Lake, a picturesque spot nestled within the forest's embrace, he departed from the group, stepping into the unknown. The circumstances of David's disappearance remain shrouded in mystery, casting a shadow over the forest's natural splendor. Despite the passing of time, the questions linger, echoing among the trees and across the lakes of the national forest. What unfolded on that fateful day as David pursued a moment of solitude by Island Lake? At 27, David Milton Crouch was in the prime of his life, his essence interwoven within the spirit of cycling. His passion wasn't just a hobby, it was the very best of his heart, a rhythm that guided his life's journey. Together with his wife, David channeled this unwavering love for cycling into a venture that was more than just a business. It was a shared dream in motion. In their bike shop nestled in Stevensville, Maryland, they didn't just sell bicycles. They were architects of adventure, curators of freedom on 2 wheels. Their life was a harmonious blend of personal passion and professional ambition, a rare feat where work and play danced together seamlessly. David's expertise and enthusiasm for cycling transformed their bike shop into a local hub, a place where fellow cycling enthusiasts could not only find their perfect ride, but also a community. Together, David and his wife cultivated a space that thrived on the joy of cycling, making their dream a reality for themselves and their customers. This idyllic existence, however, was marked by a profound love for the outdoors, a trait that extended beyond the confines of cycling paths and into the heart of nature itself. It was a love that eventually led David to the vast, open space of the Teton National Forest. Yet, as he ventured into this new wilderness, little did anyone know that it would become the backdrop to a mystery that would leave a lingering question mark in the serene environment of the National Forest. On the last day of August in 1997, David and his companions, guided by the spirit of adventure, embarked on a journey into the National Forest. This vast expanse of wilderness, contrasting with the familiar terrains of Maryland, promised an escape into nature's untouched beauty. The group, although overwhelmed with excitement, was treading on unfamiliar ground, a fact that underscored their adventure with the element of the unknown. As the day unfolded, David, ever the enthusiast for new experiences, felt a pull towards Island Lake, a serene spot known for its fishing potential. Armed with nothing but his fishing rod, he decided to split from the group for a solo expedition. It was a decision made in the moment, driven by the allure of solitude and the tranquil beauty of the lake. However, David's spontaneous venture was marked by a critical oversight. He had left behind his survival gear, venturing into the wilderness, unprepared for what lay ahead. The hours passed, and as the sun began to set, a sense of unease settled over the group. David had not returned. What started as a day filled with anticipation and joy slowly morphed into a situation fraught with concern. The realization that David was missing catalyzed his friends into action. They retraced their steps, scouring the paths they had taken, in hopes of finding any sign of their missing friend. The forest, vast and indifferent, offered no clues, only deepening the mystery of David's whereabouts. By the following morning, with David still missing and the night's cold having claimed the forest, the gravity of the situation was undeniable. The Sublette County Sheriff's Office was alerted, and what ensued was a search operation that saw the mobilization of local search and rescue teams. The forest, once a backdrop for adventure, became the focus of a determined search effort. Teams combed through the wilderness, driven by the hope of finding David safe. Yet, as days turned into nights and back into days, the forest remained silent, keeping the secret of David's disappearance within its vast embrace. The search, extensive in its scope, brought together a community united in concern, but was met with the harsh reality of nature's profound and puzzling silence. In the wake of David's disappearance, the National Forest became the epicenter of an exhaustive search operation. The mission to find David saw the deployment of resources on a scale seldom seen. Helicopters beat the air above, their blades slicing through the silence of the forest, while search teams on foot navigated the treacherous underbrush below. Dogs, trained to seek out human scents, were let loose, with their keen noses hopeful of picking up a trail left by David. The community, both local and beyond, watched and waited, their collective breath held in anticipation of any new news. The challenges facing the search teams were formidable. The terrain of the Bridger-Teton National Forest is as beautiful as it is unforgiving. Vast swaths of lands with rugged peaks and deep valleys, making the task of searching not just difficult, but also perilous. The weather, an ever-present force in the wilderness, turned against the efforts of the rescuers. Bad weather rolled in, reducing visibility, hampering the helicopters, and adding a pressing urgency to the search. David, who had ventured out with nothing more than his fishing rod, was ill-equipped to face the elements, a fact that cast a shadow of grim reality over the hopes of finding him safe. As days turned into weeks, the intensity of the search efforts began to wane. Resources, both physical and emotional, were stretched thin. The local authorities, who had led the search with the determination fueled by hope, began to acknowledge the dawning reality of the situation. Statements were made, grim in their acceptance of likelihood that David had not survived this ordeal. The decision to scale back the search was met with heavy hearts, a testament to the harsh truth that sometimes, despite the best efforts of many, nature keeps its secrets closely guarded. David Melton Crouch's disappearance left a void in the heart of Stevensville, Maryland, a community that had known him not just as a business owner, but as a friend, neighbor, and an integral part of their community and daily lives. The news of his vanishing in the remote wilderness of Wyoming sent ripples of shock and sorrow through the town, uniting its residents in a shared sense of loss and concern. In the wake of the tragedy, the Crouch family found themselves surrounded by the warmth and support of their community. Despite their overwhelming grief, they took comfort in the outpouring of love and solidarity. The Crouch family is one of the well-known families on the island, remarked Reverend Ken Valentine, pastor of Kent Island United Methodist Church, where David was a member. "We've had prayers for David all last week. It's very sad," he added, voicing the collective heartache that gripped the community. The family's response to the tragedy was one of quiet dignity, choosing to grieve privately. They nonetheless expressed their gratitude for the ceaseless support, the prayers, and the hope that continued to come from their neighbors and friends. "It has to be a terrible feeling to have someone missing and not knowing if he is dead or alive. My heart goes out to the family, shared Dolores Timms, a neighbor, encapsulating empathy and concern in her statement. Amidst the sorrow, the community spirit remained unbroken. Vigils were held and David's story was shared far and wide, keeping the flame of hope alive for any news of his whereabouts. The collective effort to support the Crouch family underscored a fundamental truth about Stevensville. In times of despair, the community stood as one, offering a beacon of light in the darkest of times. David's disappearance became more than a personal tragedy for his family. It was a moment that united the community, a reminder of the bonds that hold us together in the face of uncertainty and sorrow. As the years have passed, the mysterious disappearance of David Milton Crouch on August 31st of 1997 in the vast expanse of the Teton National Forest remains an unsolved chapter in the lives of those who knew him and the community at large. David was described as a white male with brown hair, standing 5 foot 10 inches tall and weighing approximately 175 pounds. He was last seen wearing jeans and a flannel shirt. These details, frozen in time, serve as a reminder of a person who stepped into the wilderness that day, never to return. The Sublette County Sheriff's Office continues to seek any information regarding David's disappearance, urging anyone who might know something, no matter how insignificant it may seem, to come forward. This event serves as a reflection on the unpredictable nature of wilderness exploration and the critical importance of preparation and safety measures. David's story underscores the need for adventure to equip themselves not only with the necessary gear, but also with the knowledge and skills to navigate the challenges posed by the natural world. In memory of David and in honor of the ongoing efforts to find him, we call upon listeners to share any information they may have related to his disappearance. Furthermore, this story reminds us of the strength found in community support during times of tragedy. Let's stand together, offering hope and assistance to those affected by loss, and continue to foster a culture of safety and preparedness for all who seek to explore the beauty and majesty of our natural surroundings. Jacob Michael Olivier, at the age of 23, found himself far from his hometown of Spring, Texas, in circumstances that baffled everyone who knew him. Known for his kindness and thoughtful nature, Jacob's life in Texas was one of recovery and hope, making his sudden disappearance in August of 2011 all the more mystifying and out of character. The setting of his vanishing was the sprawling and wild Everglades National Park in Florida. The questions began when Jacob, without any apparent reason, embarked on a long journey over 1,000 miles from the comfort of his home to the unfamiliar and challenging terrain of the Florida Everglades. This vast natural reserve, known for its unique ecosystem and daunting landscapes, was far from anything Jacob was known to seek out. His arrival in Florida was unannounced and unexpected. He had no friends or family in that area, nor any known connections to the state. The purpose of his journey remained shrouded in mystery, sparking intrigue and speculation among those who sought to understand his motivations. Upon entering the Everglades, Jacob's trail went cold. His green 1998 Isuzu Hombre truck was discovered abandoned in a parking lot, a silent witness to the start of a disappearance that would captivate and haunt many. The discovery of the truck, with personal belongings still inside, marked the beginning of a search that would span the rugged expanse of the park. Yet, despite extensive efforts to locate him, no trace of Jacob could be found, deepening the mystery of his fate. Jacob's sudden decision to leave Texas, his solitary journey to the Everglades, and the puzzle of his disappearance create a narrative that is as perplexing as it is tragic. Questions abound. What drew him to the Everglades? What happened in the park that led to his disappearance? The lack of answers casts a shadow over Jacob's story, leaving family, friends, and investigators grappling with the unknown. The mysterious aspects of Jacob's disappearance, his unexpected travel, the desolate location where he was last known to be, and the absence of clear reasons for his journey continue to perplex and fascinate those who seek to unravel the truth behind his vanishing. Jacob Michael Olivier's disappearance unfolds with a sequence of eerie and puzzling events, leaving more questions than answers. Before vanishing, Jacob's life seemed to be on a regular path, with no hints of the strange journey he was about to undertake. His last known activities were mundane, part of his daily life in Spring, Texas. Then, without warning, he was gone. The mystery deepened when the Everglades National Park Service found Jacob's green Isuzu Hombre truck abandoned. It sat silently in the parking lot of Pine Glades Lake, an empty vessel hinting at an unsettling story of its owner's disappearance. The discovery of the truck sent shockwaves through Jacob's family. They were blindsided by the news, unable to comprehend why Jacob would travel over 1,000 miles to the Everglades, a place disconnected from his life in Texas. As the authorities delved into the investigation, they uncovered CCTV footage that captured Jacob entering the park. This footage, showing Jacob driving into the Everglades alone, provided a crucial timestamp for his entry, but also deepened the mystery, marking the moment he moved beyond the reach of those who knew him. Inside the truck, investigators found items that seemed out of place. A ticket that confirmed his entry date into the park, an empty weapon case signaling the presence of a gun now missing, and other personal belongings. These items painted a confusing picture of his intentions and preparedness. The last ping from Jacob's phone came late that afternoon, off a tower within the park, suggesting he had moved further into the Everglades after parking his truck. This final signal from his phone was a critical piece of evidence, offering a fleeting connection to Jacob's movements within the vast park. It guided the search efforts, hinting at where Jacob might have ventured before disappearing completely. Together, these pieces, the abandoned truck, the CCTV footage, the items left behind, and the last phone ping, compose a timeline marked by uncertainty and concern. They form the foundation of a mystery that has perplexed his family, friends, and investigators alike. The initial reaction of alarm and confusion have since given way to a relentless search for answers, driving efforts to understand what happened to Jacob after he entered the Everglades, a quest that continues to this day amidst the silence of the park's sprawling wilderness. The search for Jacob mobilized a vast and coordinated effort, weaving together the skills and resources of the Everglades National Park Service, the Civil Air Patrol, and canine units in a desperate attempt to find him. The park's rangers, accustomed to the challenges of their environment, understood the enormity of their task. They were searching for a needle in a haystack, but the haystack was the Everglades, a vast expanse of over 1.5 million acres of wetland, dense vegetation, and waterways. The search teams faced formidable obstacles. The Everglades is not only immense, but its terrain is treacherous and unwelcoming. Thick mangroves, deep waters, and the ever-present risk of encountering wildlife, from alligators to venomous snakes, made the search operation perilous. Weather conditions, too, were an adversary. The Florida heat, sudden thunderstorms, and high humidity challenged the endurance of the searchers and complicated efforts to track any signs of Jacob's movement or passage. Despite these obstacles, the search teams pressed on. Canine units attempted to trace Jacob's scent, but could only find traces of it around his truck and a limited perimeter beyond it. This led to speculation that Jacob might have left the park in another vehicle or on foot, broadening the already massive search area. The Civil Air Patrol took to the skies, hoping to spot clues from above, while rangers and volunteers combed the ground below. The discovery of the empty weapon case in his truck, coupled with the final ping from his cell phone, suggested various scenarios. Did Jacob meet someone in the park? Was he planning to go off-grid, or was this trip a result of an impulse or confusion? His family and the authorities grappled with these questions, each theory guiding the search in new directions, but yielding little in the way of concrete answers. The investigation into Jacob's disappearance was a puzzle with too many missing pieces. The vastness of the Everglades, the challenges posed by the environment, and the scarcity of leads formed a complex web of obstacles that hampered efforts to uncover what happened to Jacob after he stepped into that park. With every day that passed, the mystery of his fate grew deeper, leaving more questions than answers in its wake. The disappearance of Jacob Michael Olivier cast a shadow of sorrow and uncertainty over his family, leaving them grappling with an endless sea of questions and the pain of his absence. Each day without answers adds to their emotional burden, a relentless mix of hope and despair. Jacob's family found themselves in a relentless quest for answers, clinging to any piece of information that might explain why Jacob traveled to the Everglades and what had happened to him there. Their lives were suspended in a state of waiting and wondering, with each unanswered question deepening their anguish. The community response to Jacob's disappearance was a testament to the bonds that tie people together in times of crisis. Friends, neighbors, and even strangers rallied around Jacob's family, offering support in various forms, from participating in search and rescue efforts to providing emotional support. The search for Jacob brought together a diverse group of individuals, each driven by a shared purpose to bring him home. This collective effort reflected the community's resilience and compassion as they joined hands with Jacob's family in their time of need. As days turned into weeks and then years, the absence of concrete answers took its toll, not only on Jacob's family, but also on the wider community. The mystery of his disappearance lingered like an open wound, a constant reminder of the fragility of life and the depths of human connection. Jacob's story transcended personal tragedy, touching the hearts of many and uniting them in a shared hope for closure and peace. The emotional impact of Jacob's disappearance on his family and the surrounding community underscores the profound ways in which a single life can touch many. It is a story of love, loss, and the enduring human spirit in the face of the unknown. In the wake of Jacob's disappearance, theories and speculations emerged, each attempting to shed light on the reasons behind his unexpected journey to the Everglades and the circumstances of his vanishing. The lack of concrete evidence and clear motives turned the case into a canvas for conjecture, with various scenarios painted by those following the case closely. One theory suggested that Jacob, seeking adventure or a break from his routine life, might have been drawn to the Everglades for its vast wilderness and isolation. Perhaps in seeking solitude or a connection with nature, Jacob underestimated the challenges and dangers of the park. This theory contemplates the possibility of an accident or getting lost in the expansive and treacherous terrain of the Everglades. Another line of speculation revolved around the mental health challenges Jacob had faced in the past. Could a desire for escape, a sudden impulse, or a bout of confusion have led him to drive across the country to such a remote and challenging environment? The discovery of an empty weapons case in his truck added a layer of complexity, suggesting preparation for a threat or, more troublingly, an intention that spoke to a deeper turmoil. The last known signal from Jacob's phone, coupled with the CCTV footage of him entering the park alone, fueled discussions about his state of mind and intentions upon arrival. Was Jacob meeting someone in the Everglades? The isolated location, far from his home and devoid of personal connections, made this theory both intriguing and perplexing. The absence of further evidence made it impossible to confirm if the trip was planned or spontaneous, or if Jacob intended to meet with fate or flee from it. Some speculated about the possibility of foul play, considering the Everglades' reputation for being a place where secrets can easily be hidden. However, without evidence of a struggle or a confrontation, this theory remained as speculative as the others. Amid these theories, the implications for the case were significant. Each hypothesis opened new avenues for investigation, but also highlighted the daunting task of searching for truth in a place as vast and impenetrable as the Everglades. The speculative nature of these theories underscores the profound mystery at the heart of Jacob's disappearance. A puzzle composed of fragmented clues, unanswered questions, and the echoing silence of the wilderness. The case of Jacob Michael Olivier remains an unsolved puzzle, a story suspended in the still, silent expanse of the Everglades. Classified as endangered missing, Jacob's disappearance is a cold case that refuses to fade into obscurity. Kept alive by the tireless efforts of his family, authorities, and a community unwilling to forget. Despite the passage of years, the quest for answers continues, with each day adding to the resolve to uncover the truth behind Jacob's mysterious vanishing. In an effort to keep the case in the public eye, Jacob's family and law enforcement have made repeated appeals for information. Social media posts, flyers, and press conferences serve as a reminder of Jacob's disappearance, urging anyone with even the smallest piece of information to come forward. Contact details for tips are widely circulated, offering a direct line for those who might hold the key to unraveling the mystery. These efforts underscore a collective determination to find Jacob, reflecting a hope that someone, somewhere, knows something that could lead to a breakthrough. Jacob's case casts a spotlight on the broader challenges of missing persons investigations in the vast natural parks like the Everglades. It highlights the immense difficulties faced by search and rescue teams navigating these wild, often inhospitable terrains. The disappearance of a single individual in such a sprawling wilderness underscores the need for enhanced search technologies, improved coordination among agencies, and greater awareness among the public of the risks associated with these natural landscapes. Moreover, Jacob's story serves as a reminder of the countless others who have vanished without a trace in similar settings. It raises important questions about how society, law enforcement, and communities respond to such disappearances and the measures in place to prevent them. In the fate of nature's vastness and the limits of human endeavor, the continuing mystery of Jacob Michael Olivier stands as a testament to the enduring hope for resolution and the relentless search for answers in the depths of the unknown. As we reflect on the enduring mystery of Jacob's disappearance, let us also remember the power of community, the strength of hope, and the unyielding human spirit in the face of the unknown. This story, while unique in its details, is a reminder of the countless others who remain missing, and the ongoing quest for answers that continues to unite us all. Kyle Brittain, at 27 years old, was no stranger to the challenging trails and rugged beauty of Hawaii's landscapes. An experienced hiker from Honolulu, he had explored many paths with friends and family throughout his life. His love for the great outdoors was matched by his skills and knowledge of survival techniques, making him well prepared for almost any challenge nature could throw at him. Yet, on August 30th of 2019, Kyle decided to embark on a journey unlike any other he had undertaken before, a solo hike in the expansive Waipio Valley on the Big Island of Hawaii. This decision was out of the ordinary for Kyle, who had always hiked with company. The Waipio Valley, known for its stunning vistas, steep cliffs, and deep cultural significance, is as beautiful as it is treacherous. His father, Steve Brittain, recounted Kyle's resolve to hike alone, expressing concerns over the decision, but trusting in his son's abilities and judgments. On the morning of his disappearance, Kyle set out at around 6 a.m., driving his vehicle to the trail's entrance near the Waipio Valley lookout area. He had informed his family of his plans, marking his route on the trail towards Waimanu Valley, a path framed by a 1,000-foot cliff at a 70-degree angle. This information would later become a crucial piece of the puzzle in understanding his last known whereabouts. By noon that day, a signal from Kyle's cell phone briefly pinged, offering a faint glimmer of his presence in the area. However, as hours turned into night with no word from Kyle, attempts to contact him proved futile. His family's worry deepened, leading to the filing of a missing persons report with the Hawaii Police Department on the evening of August 31st. The valley, a residence of early Hawaiian kings and a site revered for its historical and spiritual significance, had transformed into the backdrop of a perplexing disappearance. The mystery of Kyle Brittain's decision to hike alone, his preparedness, and his sudden vanishing has since echoed through the valleys and communities of Hawaii, igniting a search that would draw in volunteers, experts, and the hearts of many across the nation. Before dawn on August 30th of 2019, Kyle Brittain prepared to step into the unknown. It was an unusual day. Kyle, who usually hiked with friends or family, chose solitude over companionship for his journey into the Waipio Valley. As the first light of the day touched the sky, Kyle gathered his essentials: water, power bars, and his trusted cell phone. These items, simple yet vital, were all he thought he needed for the day's adventure. His father, Steve, watched with a mix of pride and worry. The decision to hike alone had sparked concern. Steve remembered cautioning Kyle about the risks, emphasizing the importance of safety. Despite his vast experience and the countless trails Kyle had conquered, hiking alone presented a new set of challenges, especially in the unfamiliar and rugged terrain of Waipio Valley. Kyle reassured his father with a plan. He would hike the trail towards Waimanu Valley and return before sunset. He shared his route, promised regular check-ins, and with a sense of determination, assured his father of his readiness. The The last conversation between Kyle and his family now lingers as a haunting memory. With his preparations complete and his route set, Kyle left in his vehicle, parking it near the trail's entrance as the morning unfolded. The world was unaware that this departure marked the beginning of a mystery that would captivate and concern many. As Kyle ventured into the valley, a place of immense beauty and hidden dangers, his story took a turn toward the unknown, leaving behind unanswered questions and a trail gone cold. With the break of dawn as his only witness, he ventured toward the valley's lookout, the last place anyone would report seeing him. As the day unfolded, Kyle's silence grew more pronounced. Calls to his cell phone went unanswered, texts remained undelivered, and by nightfall, worry turned into alarm. The silence from Kyle, so out of character for the experienced hiker, sent a ripple of concern through his family. The following day, August 31st, the gravity of Kyle's absence sank in. Faced with a day of silence and no sign of his return, his family contacted the Hawaii Police Department. A missing person report was filed, marking the official start of a search that would draw eyes and hearts from across the nation. The report sparked a flurry of activity, with law enforcement and Kyle's loved ones grappling with the sudden turn from an ordinary hike to an urgent search and rescue operation.
The search for a hiker in Hawaii, missing for over a week now. He was last seen heading towards a steep trail on the Big Island. And ABC's Marcy Gonzalez joins us with more on this now intensifying search. Good morning, Marcy.
Good morning, Eva. This young man's father says he's been hiking since he was 3 years old and did everything right in this situation. He let people know exactly where he'd be and when to expect his next call. And when it didn't come 9 days ago, his family called for help. In this scenic landscape, this morning, a daunting search for this hiker missing for more than a week. Teams scouring the steep, thick terrain of the Waipio Valley on Hawaii's Big Island, determined to find Kyle Brittain.
I have to be optimistic. We all are.
2 Fridays ago, the 27-year-old experienced hiker decided to spend the day on a trail he'd hiked with family in the past. This time, though, setting out by himself.
He never hiked alone, and he said, I want to try it.
He left at 6 a.m., his family saying his cell phone pinged at the top of the trail's more than 1,000-foot cliffs at 8 a.m. Other than his vehicle found parked nearby, there's been no sign of Kyle since.
He wasn't equipped to do an overnight hike. If he's out there surviving, which we hope he is, it's pretty bare essentials he's working with.
But the search team, growing by the day, is well equipped. Helicopters, dogs, and rescuers who know firsthand that anything is possible.
You know, this is a very large area, so we're just trying to make sure that Kyle didn't push really far in.
Javier Canalops is one of the volunteers who found Amanda Eller 17 days after she disappeared during a hike in Hawaii.
I never lose hope of finding him. I mean, Amanda was a perfect example of that, you know, of never losing hope.
This morning, leaning on that inspiration to help fuel this search.
We're all going to be here until we find him.
And his family says it rained the day of Kyle's hike, so it's possible he slipped and is injured somewhere in that valley. They say there's also little cell service there, which would explain why his phone stopped pinging. Teams are heading back out to look for him this morning and raising money on GoFundMe to cover the mounting costs of this search. Whit.
A lot of people hoping for a positive outcome. Marcy Gonzalez for us in Los Angeles. Thank you.
By September 1st, the search for Kyle had mobilized into a full-scale operation. The Hawaiian Police Department and the Hilo Fire Department, equipped with the resolve to uncover Kyle's whereabouts, led the charge. The call for help echoed far and wide, urging the community to come together. Friends, family, and volunteers, driven by hope and the desire to find Kyle, gathered in solidarity. Search dogs, with their keen senses, and drones, with their sweeping views, were deployed to scour the vast expanse of Waipio Valley. These efforts marked the beginning of a tireless quest, a community's united stand against the shadows of uncertainty that had claimed one of their own. The mystery of Kyle's disappearance, deepening with each passing day, became a testament to the bonds that compel us to seek and to never give up hope. As days turned into nights with no sign of Kyle, the search efforts intensified, drawing a wave of support that surged from the heart of the community and beyond. The landscape of the Waipio Valley, with its daunting cliffs and dense forests, presented a formidable challenge. Yet, the spirit of the search teams remained unbroken, fueled by the hope of finding Kyle safe. With the mystery deepening, the call for volunteers echoed far and wide, resonating with a community ready to stand in solidarity. People from all walks of life, bound by a shared purpose, stepped into the unknown, braving the challenging terrain of the valley.
It is day 3 of the search. We brought in rescue dogs from Kauai. We have the helicopters going up. We have ground crews of maybe 6 to 8 people on the ground searching the trails in the valley. The police fire rescue are committed for 2 more days. Then we're probably going to be moving to a community-based search program. The leader of the search team from Maui that was successful in finding the lost woman that was lost for 17 days in Maui, he's here coordinating the search efforts for the community-based program. What we're going to need is volunteers. If you're in physical shape of any kind to hike the trails or hike the valley, we're going to need 100, 200 people to start combing the hillsides, maybe rappel people if we've got that. Any help that you can give. I don't wish this on anybody. It's unbelievable. So any help you can give, my wife Lily and I, Kyle's mom, Kyle's brother is here. We've got family all over the islands. We love the support and help we've got so far, but I think we're gonna need a lot more. So thank you so much for everything so far.
Is there a contact number that they can call for more information that you have?
You can call my cell, 808-99. Ask for me. My cell's on. We have some coverage up here, minimal, but we are checking all the time.
All right, Steve. Well, good luck in the continued search as we continue to search for Kyle. His last known whereabouts was, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, he was going to do a day hike, hike the Z Trail. So he came Friday morning at 7 a.m. Somebody saw up here, he asked to use the bathroom where it was. They pointed it out and he said, thanks, have a nice day. And that's the last time anybody saw or heard from him. We've had people in the valley, hikers, everybody, no one's seen or heard anything about him since then. So this is day 3 and knowing he's out there is killing us.
The response was overwhelming, with hundreds of volunteers lending their time, effort, and expertise to the cause. They combed through the thickets, called out Kyle's name, and held onto the belief that their efforts would lead them to him. The logistical challenges of the search were many. The vastness of the area, coupled with its treacherous paths and limited access, tested the resolve of the search teams daily. Yet, innovation and determination led to the deployment of drones, which soared above the canopy, providing eyes in the sky where the terrain was too difficult for volunteers to reach. As the search expanded, so did the outpouring of support in the form of donations. Funds flowed in, not just from locals, but from well-wishers across the nation, all touched by Kyle's story and eager to contribute to the search efforts. These donations help fuel the logistical needs of the operation, from transportation for the search dogs to the hiring of helicopters to sweep the vast expanses of the valley from above. The national attention the case received served to amplify the urgency of the search, casting a spotlight on the mystery of Kyle's disappearance and the collective endeavor to find him. News outlets, social media, and community forums buzzed with updates and calls for assistance, drawing more volunteers and resources to the valley. In the face of adversity, the community's resolve only grew stronger, epitomizing the power of collective action and the unyielding hope of finding Kyle Brittain.
What's happening, everybody? Today is day 11, 12. I think it's 12. It's Tuesday. As you can see, we're going up Z Trail, which is absolutely brutal. Just to start off with, we got teams still in the valley. That's that swamp that we searched yesterday, all the way around the perimeter. You can see just how vast this valley is. but we want to continue to search the ridgeline. Unfortunately, today, we don't have access to helicopters to fly us up. Tomorrow, we will have 3 teams fly up. That's if we can't find them today, obviously. As you can imagine, most of us are beat. This is actually real small teams. Basically, our main team with some local volunteers. We also have some local hunters involved. But I mean, you can see this rugged beauty. That's spectacular. And normally, I would be relishing doing this. This is absolutely brutal, especially after the couple of days of hiking we've already had. Just really tough conditions. So, just wanted to give an update and show you exactly where we're at, seeing how much energy, focus, determination it is to search this great expanse. We're going up. Talk to you soon. Javier out.
As the search for Kyle Brittain continued, the emotional toll on his family became heart-wrenching. Their daily lives were now consumed by the search, each day passing without Kyle, bringing a heavier burden of worry and longing. Among the volunteers, drone videographers and search experts emerged as key figures, utilizing their skills to pierce the veil of mystery surrounding Kyle's disappearance. The drone pilots, with their eyes in the skies, searched from above, while experts on the ground navigated the treacherous terrain, each step guided by the hope of finding a clue, a sign, anything that could lead to Kyle.
We're just pushing back into the valley again. We're gonna do some gully work and just see if there's any spots that he potentially would have slipped, or just, we don't know at this point, and we're reopening our ideas to things that we think we had checked already. Now that we have a little bit more resources and a little bit more experience, we've got our master diver here who just took a little spill. Didn't go down the cliff though, which is a good thing. But yeah, just hoping we find him today. At this point, closure at any point. You know, it's what we want.
Absolutely, man.
We really want him to be alive, and
absolutely, man.
I want to slap the hell out of him. But the nights are getting harder, the days are getting harder, but we're not going to stop.
I mean, yeah, man.
He's out here somewhere, and that's what keeps us going. So we're just going.
Absolutely, dude. Thank you so much, Sam. All right, guys. Hit you up soon.
As days turned into weeks, the official search efforts began to wane, but the community's determination did not. The mission to find Kyle transitioned into a community-led effort, a testament to the bond and collective will of those involved. The valley, once a place of natural beauty and solitude, had now become a symbol of unity and hope. Kyle's family, at the heart of this endeavor, continued to lead the charge, their faith unwavering. They organized searches, coordinated with volunteers, and ensured that Kyle's story remained at the forefront of the community's consciousness. Their home became a hub of activity, maps lined the walls, and plans were made and remade, each strategy fueled by the singular goal of finding Kyle. In the face of uncertainty, the community's hope remained persistent. The search for Kyle Brittain had brought together people from all walks of life, each contributing in their own way to the efforts. It was this collective hope, this united front, that illuminated the path forward, a beacon in the search for Kyle, keeping alive the belief that he would be found. Today, the search for Kyle remains active in the hearts of those who knew him and in the community that came together in his name. The efforts have evolved, but the hope for Kyle's safe return burns as brightly as ever. Volunteers continue to gather, share stories, and comb through new areas, driven by the belief that Kyle is still out there. The legacy of Kyle's disappearance transcends the immediate urgency of the search efforts. It has woven a fabric of awareness and community support that will endure. His story has inspired initiatives focused on improving hiking safety, emergency preparedness, and the establishment of a support network for families facing similar ordeals. The valley where Kyle was last seen has become more than a backdrop to his mysterious disappearance. It stands as a symbol of communal strength, resilience, and the indomitable spirit of hope. In the search for Kyle Brittain, a community found its unity, a family found its strength, and the world was reminded of the profound impact one person could have on the hearts of so many. The quest to find Kyle goes on, with each day bringing new efforts, new challenges, and renewed commitment to bringing him home.
The search for Michael Bryson, and they are not slowing down 5 days later. KEZI 9 News.
27-year-old Michael Bryson has been missing for more than 2 months now, and the search is still very active.
The disappearance of Michael Bryson.
He went missing in 2020 after telling his parents he was going on a camping trip.
The party, or rave as it's been referred to, took place at the Hobo Campground just outside Darina in the Umpqua National Forest.
In the expanse of the Umpqua National Forest, an unsettling mystery began to unfold in early August of 2020. Michael Bryson, a 27-year-old resident of Eugene, Oregon, would soon become the central figure in a disappearance that perplexed and alarmed both his community and the authorities. Michael was well known in his hometown for his generous spirit and his love for music, which often saw him at the heart of local gatherings. His personality was as vibrant as the beats he spun as a DJ. As summer reached its peak, Michael planned to attend a week-long birthday celebration that combined the rustic charm of camping with the unrestrained joy of a music festival. The chosen venue, Hobo Campground, was nestled in the dense, lush settings of the Umpqua National Forest, a place that promised not only natural beauty, but a break from the hustle of everyday life. This trip was not just another outing, it was anticipated as a highlight of the summer, a perfect escape into nature with close friends. Before his departure, Michael visited his parents' home in Harrisburg, a small town not far from Eugene. It was here, in the comfort of familiar surroundings, that he shared the details of his upcoming adventure. His excitement was measurable. His eyes lit up as he spoke about the people he would meet and the music he would bring to life in the forest. His parents, accustomed to their son's adventurous spirit, listened intently, sharing in his enthusiasm while silently nursing the usual parental concerns that flutter about when either a child or adult ventures from home. Michael's journey from his parents' home to the Hobo Campground was uneventful, marked by the scenic drive through Oregon's picturesque landscapes. Upon arrival, he was greeted by the sight and sounds of a party already in motion. Friends and acquaintances, some he had not seen since before the world was gripped by the pandemic, welcomed him with open arms. The campground was alive with energy as tents dotted the sites, lights strung between the trees, and in the distance, the steady pulse of electronic music beckoned. As he set up his own campsite, Michael could feel the pulsing energy of the forest around him. The trees seemed to sway rhythmically with the music, and the night sky was a blanket of stars, undisturbed by city lights. The setting was idyllic, yet, as the night drew on, the isolation of the wilderness around them could not be ignored. It was in this vast, open space that the line between festivity and vulnerability would blur, setting the stage for a disappearance that would captivate and mystify all who heard about it. The mysterious elements of Michael's last known location, the remote and primitive Hobo Campground, the imposing forest, and the joyful yet chaotic nature of a rave in such a setting, all of which contributed to the eerie prelude of his story. Little did anyone know, this vibrant beginning would soon take a turn into the unknown, leaving behind nothing but questions and a haunting silence of the woods where he was last seen. As the vibrant night progressed at the Hobo Campground deep within the Umpqua National Forest, the atmosphere thumped with a mixture of music, laughter, and the rustle of leaves in the evening breeze. The event, a blend of a birthday celebration and a rave, had drawn a diverse crowd of attendees, all there to enjoy the escape in the wilderness. Michael Bryson, known among his friends for his charisma and DJ skills, was right at the heart of it. The evening started promisingly as Michael took to the makeshift stage to perform a DJ set that perfectly captured the spirit of this gathering. His music, A mix of vibrant beats and soulful melodies resonated through the crowd, setting feet moving and spirits soaring. As he spun track after track, the connection between him and the audience seemed unbreakable, a shared moment of joy that defined the start of what was meant to be a memorable night. However, as the night wore on, the initial euphoria began to give way to a more chaotic undertone. The isolated setting, combined with the consumption of alcohol and other substances, started to alter the mood among the partygoers. Michael, who was at the center of this whirlwind, appeared increasingly out of sorts as the nights drew into the early morning hours. Friends later recounted seeing him agitated and restless, a contrast to the elated DJ who had owned the stage just hours earlier. Around 4 a.m., the situation took a mysterious turn. Michael abruptly left the bus that served as the central hub for the rave, stepping out into the dark forest. His departure was sudden and without any clear indication of his intent. Concerns quickly escalated when a text message surfaced from one of the attendees. Also, we may or may not have spun Michael out, and he is lost in the woods. This message suggested that Michael might have been profoundly affected by substances, enough to disorient him and impair his ability to navigate the treacherous woodland safely. The term spun out gains a chilling significance, especially when paired with the cryptic text message about his condition on the night he vanished. The Urban Dictionary definition of spun out describes a state induced by excessive use of powerful stimulants like methamphetamine or synthetic drugs, which can lead to severe paranoia, disorientation, and erratic behavior. This state is marked by symptoms such as fear of law enforcement and bizarre, repetitive behaviors. Michael's sudden and unexplained departure from the bus at the party might suggest that he was experiencing some of these intense effects. His behavior, as described by the unsettling text, implies that he could have been suffering from a severe level of distress and confusion, exacerbating his vulnerability in the wild. The dense and dark forest, combined with his possible impairment, would have significantly increased the risks that he faced, painting a grim picture of his last known hours. Given the mysterious and alarming circumstances, the search efforts could have been influenced by concerns over his mental and physical state, focusing on areas where someone in a confused and agitated state might wander. This adds a layer of urgency and complexity to the search, as rescuers might not only be looking for someone who was physically lost, but also psychologically distressed and unable to seek help effectively. The broader understanding of what it meant to be spun out helps illustrate why Michael's disappearance was particularly perplexing and worrying for those searching for him. It emphasizes the critical need for timely and thorough search and rescue efforts in such cases, where an individual's condition could drastically worsen their chances of surviving in the wilderness. This revelation sent ripples of worry through the group. A sense of unease began to permeate the crowd. Discussions about what the text could mean and whether Michael was in a state to look after himself became more frantic. The search for Michael did not fully begin until the full daylight illuminated the dense forest, revealing just how daunting the task of finding him would be. The delay in organizing a search, combined with the cryptic, last known circumstances of his departure, complicated the efforts. The forest, vast and indifferent, kept its secrets as the search teams prepared to delve into its depths. The realization of Michael Bryson's disappearance did not dawn immediately on the partygoers at the hobo campground. It was only as the night's festivities waned and the clear light of day began to break through the dense canopy that the gravity of the situation became apparent. What had started as a night of joy and connection had slipped into a scenario fraught with uncertainty and fear. As the morning unfolded, the initial inquiries into Michael's whereabouts transformed into a deep, communal concern. Friends retraced steps, and the last sighting of Michael was scrutinized, all painting a picture of his unexpected and unexplained departure. His parents, not hearing from him as expected, felt a growing unease that something was terribly wrong. The alarm was raised officially late in the day, much later than the critical initial hours following his disappearance. By this time, the chances of finding Michael quickly and safely were diminishing. His parents, struck by a profound fear that every parent dreads, rushed to the campground. Expecting a coordinated effort by the search teams, they were met instead with a disorganized and seemingly indifferent response from the local authorities and the partygoers who were still on site. The search for Michael officially began that evening, almost a full day after he was last seen. The delay was critical and detrimental. His parents, now desperate, spearheaded the efforts, organizing the search parties, mapping out the area, and coordinating with local search and rescue teams. The campground, once a site of a festivity, turned into a command center for the search operation. As the search expanded, the vastness of the Umpqua National Forest became a formidable adversary. The terrain was rough, with thick underbrush, steep ravines, and extensive ground to cover. The forest, which had so recently echoed with the sounds of music and laughter, now seemed ominously silent, as if holding its breath. Search teams called out for Michael, their voices echoing through the trees, met with only the rustle of leaves in response. The mystery of Michael's whereabouts deepened with each passing hour. Aerial drones buzzed overhead, scanning the forest floor. Horseback teams navigated the more inaccessible areas, and volunteers lined up, shoulder to shoulder, to comb through the underbrush. The community's response was a contrast to the initial casual reactions, now marked by urgency and a sense of growing dread. The fading light of each day brought the chilling realization that Michael might not be found easily or at all. With every shadow cast by the setting sun, hope dwindled, and the forest seemed to grow larger and darker, a vast expanse hiding a mystery that no one was prepared for. The search efforts, fraught with emotional and physical exhaustion, reflected the harsh reality with each hour that passed. The likelihood of finding Michael alive and well diminished significantly. As the initial fervor of the search for Michael Bryson began to wane, the efforts transitioned into a prolonged and grueling phase. Weeks turned into months, and the dense Umpqua National Forest continued to keep its secrets, offering no clues to Michael's whereabouts. The exhaustive daily searches gradually scaled down, yet the determination of Michael's family and close friends never faltered. They continued to organize weekend searches, reaching out to experienced trackers and anyone who could help navigate the challenging terrain. The mystery of Michael's disappearance deepened with each fruitless search. Every uncovered footprint or piece of discarded clothing led to dead ends, further compounding the frustration and heartache felt by those looking for answers. The forest seemed impenetrable, a vast green expanse that swallowed up any trace of Michael. It was as if the earth had opened up and taken him, leaving behind nothing but echoes of his last known night. Inconsistencies in the stories from the last people to see Michael alive fueled various theories and speculation. Some believed he might have decided to walk away from his life, overwhelmed by undisclosed pressures. Others suspected foul play, a theory that his abrupt and uncharacteristic disappearance seemed to support. The lack of concrete evidence made every hypothesis as plausible as it was haunting. Volunteers and law enforcement combed through the area with drones that swept the skies and divers who plunged into the nearby lakes, searching for any sign that could lead to Michael. The community rallied with vigils and fundraisers, maintaining public interest and hope, keeping Michael's story alive and in the media and on social media platforms. Despite the dwindling leads, the search efforts revealed the resilience and depth of the community's commitment to finding Michael. His parents, driven by a profound need for closure, continued to push for answers. They met regularly with investigators, pored over maps, and reviewed hours of drone footage, desperate for a breakthrough. As the seasons changed, the harsh weather conditions added another layer of difficulty to the search efforts. The cold, wet months made the terrain even more treacherous, and the reduced daylight hours shortened the window for searching. Yet, through rain and cold, Michael's family and the community's resolve only seemed to strengthen, bound together by the shared sorrow and collective hope for resolution. This ongoing struggle to find Michael created a somber bond among those involved, each person driven by a mix of hope, duty, and the haunting realization that the mystery might never be solved. The forest, once a place of refuge and joy for Michael, had become a somber symbol of loss and unresolved mystery, its silence a constant reminder of all that remained unknown. Months after Michael Bryson's disappearance, the dense foliage of the Umpqua National Forest continued to hold its silence, deepening the puzzle surrounding his fate. The vibrant energy and promise that once marked Michael's presence at the hobo campground seemed a distant memory, overshadowed by the pervasive mystery and sorrowful wait for answers. The Bryson family, supported unwaveringly by a community that refused to let Michael's story fade into obscurity, found themselves in a state of suspended grief. The forest, a sprawling entity of both beauty and menace, appeared to guard its secrets jealously, frustrating the efforts of even the most determined searchers. As the investigation continued, it transformed from a frantic search into a more methodical, albeit agonizing, quest for any piece of evidence. Michael's parents pored over every detail, revisiting the same spots repeatedly, each visit a reminder of the passage of time without resolution. They organized community meetings, kept in constant contact with detectives, and maintained a presence in the media to ensure that their son's case remained in the public eye. The lack of evidence and definitive leads prompted broader questions about the nature of disappearances in wilderness areas, drawing attention from experts in search and rescue operations, psychologists, and criminologists. Discussions about safety in remote settings, the effects of substance use in vulnerable situations, and the psychological impacts of unresolved cases filled community forums and social media discussions. Symbolically, the forest became a reminder of life's fragility and unpredictability. Each tree, path, and creek in the national forest had been scrutinized, yet the vastness of the wild seemed only to grow, as if mirroring the expanding gap between the known and the unknown. The echoing void left by Michael's absence resonated through a community, a constant call to understand, to remember, and to learn. In this lingering phase of not knowing, the Bryson family and their supporters found a certain strength in unity and purpose. They established foundations to support other families dealing with similar agonies, advocating for better resources in wilderness and search and rescue efforts, and also for the greater awareness about personal safety among partygoers and adventurers alike. As the years passed, the narrative of Michael Bryson did not conclude with clear answers, but evolved into a larger dialogue about loss, hope, and the human capacity to seek truths against dawning odds. The forest, with its undisturbed depths and silent watch over the secrets that it holds, stood as a solemn testament to the enduring search for Michael, a search that, in its essence, transcended the physical and ventured into the heart of human resilience and collective memory. The story of Michael Bryson, unresolved yet unforgettable, continues to echo through the trees, a lingering reminder of the search for truth in the shadows of uncertainty. In the serene yet imposing landscapes of the Austrian Alps, perched at an altitude of 10,000 feet, lies a less known, almost enigmatic tourist destination. This place, accessible only via a gondola or a challenging hike, for the particularly determined, strikes an awe-inspiring balance between its breathtaking beauty and subtle yet ever-present reminders of its potential perils. Today, I bring you a harrowing story from this remote location, one that is shadowed with mystery. On a crisp morning of August 9th, 1989, Duncan Mcpherson, a 23-year-old Canadian, parked his little red car in a valley blanketed by the lush greenery of Austria. Duncan, a once promising hockey star destined for greatness, was selected as a first-round draft pick by the New York Islanders in 1984. But the tides of fortune didn't turn in his favor, and despite his undeniable talent and athleticism, he never secured a spot on the Islanders' main roster. Realizing that his professional hockey career might be drawing to a close, Duncan, instead of succumbing to frustration, decided to pivot towards a coaching role. In 1989, he made a commitment to coach a small-time professional hockey team in Scotland. Before embarking on this new journey, Duncan decided to press pause and take a much-needed break. He planned an extensive European vacation, a breather from his life dedicated to hockey, and the Austrian Alps were first on his list. Upon reaching the gondola station near the Stubai Glacier Ski Resort, Duncan purchased a ticket and embarked on a journey upward. The resort was unique, not just for its remote location, accessible only by the gondola or a strenuous hike, but also for its glacier slopes that allowed skiing year-round. The resort used heavy machinery to convert the thick ice into a skiable powder, a feature that distinguished it from other ski resorts. Duncan, eager to learn snowboarding, rented his gear and soon met his instructor. The instructor, quickly recognizing Duncan's natural athletic ability, complimented his rapid progress. They practiced the basics on flat ground before ascending the glacier. However, the weather had other plans. As their lesson progressed, rain began to pour, eventually giving way to a dense fog covering the mountainside. The instructor noticed Duncan soaked the tire and offered to dry his sweater in his office. Duncan, in the meantime, purchased a new sweater from the resort's gift shop. After a lunch filled with light-hearted conversation and shared anticipation for the next day's lesson, the instructor encouraged Duncan to practice solo, given his commendable progress. The next day, the instructor arrived early, coffee in hand, expecting Duncan to join him. However, Duncan was nowhere to be found. Back in Canada, Duncan's parents received an alarming phone call from the Dundee Tigers, the Scottish hockey team awaiting Duncan's arrival. Duncan had not shown up for his first day of work. Alarmed and confused, Duncan's parents filed a missing person report and embarked on a daunting journey across Europe in search of their son. For weeks, they tirelessly distributed flyers and followed every possible lead. About a month into their search, their efforts led to a breakthrough. A news segment in Austria mentioned a little red car, the same car Duncan was driving, found abandoned near the Stubai Glacier gondola. The police, now fully engaged, organized a large-scale search operation. In an unexpected twist of fate, Duncan's parents encountered his snowboard instructor at a local hotel. The instructor, recognizing Duncan from the flyer, recounted their last meeting, but could offer no clue about his whereabouts after they had their lunch. The search party scoured the mountain's terrain, delving into every crevasse and shadow the glacier offered, but to no avail. Duncan's parents continued their search for 14 years, never losing hope, always returning to the glacier, hoping for some clue and some closure. Fast forward to July of 2003. A ski resort employee, riding the tow rope, spotted a bright yellow object on the slope. Initially mistaken for trash, this turned out to be Duncan's jacket, and beneath it, preserved in the ice, lay Duncan's body, still looking like the 23-year-old who vanished all those years ago. The discovery was gruesome. Duncan's body showed signs of being mutilated, likely by a snowcat tractor that's used to groom the slopes. The prevailing theory, pieced together from the evidence available, suggests that Duncan, after his lunch with the instructor, ventured out for a solo run. In the dense fog, he likely took a fall, breaking his leg. Unable to move and invisible in the fog, Duncan lay helpless on the slope. At the same time, a snowcat tractor was out grooming the ice. Due to the reduced visibility, the driver, unaware, ran over Duncan. Panicked and fearing repercussions, the driver hid Duncan's body in a deep crevasse, an act of desperation that locked the truth in the ice for over a decade. The theory further suggests that in a state of shock and fear, the snowcat driver, after accidentally mutilating Duncan with the tractor's rotating blades, made a fateful decision. Instead of seeking help, the driver, shrouded in anonymity provided by the fog, decided to conceal the accident. Duncan, who was possibly still alive, albeit severely injured, was tied up and dragged off the slope to a secluded area known for its deep crevasses. The driver disposed of Duncan's body, along with his severed arm and leg, into one of the deep crevasses. To erase any traces, the driver used the snowcat to pack and smooth over the ice, effectively burying Duncan under a frozen shroud. For 14 years, Duncan's fate remained a mystery, his story becoming a whispered legend among the locals and staff at the glacier resort. His parents, fueled by a relentless quest for answers, returned to the Alps year after year. They scoured every part of the mountain, got to know every trail, every staff member, and every possible hideaway, yet they found nothing. The discovery in 2003 was both a closure and a new source of agony for Duncan's family. The well-preserved state of his body was a stark reminder of their loss, as if time had stood still for Duncan while the world had moved on. The mutilated condition of his body and snowboard pointed to a chilling narrative, one that contradicted the initial assumption of a simple disappearance. Investigation into the snowcat driver who might have been responsible hit a dead end. The statute of limitations had expired, with no concrete evidence pointing to a specific individual. The case grew cold. No one at the resort came forward with information, and the identity of the person responsible for Duncan's tragic end remains unknown. Duncan's story is a haunting reminder of the unpredictability and dangers that can lurk in nature's most beautiful settings. It serves as a cautionary tale, emphasizing the need for vigilance and preparedness in the face of nature's whims. His parents, though heartbroken, found some solace in finally knowing what happened to their son, but the unanswered questions and the absence of justice leave a lingering sense of injustice. The Austrian Alps, with their breaking vistas and serene landscapes, continue to attract visitors from around the world. But for those who know the story of Duncan Mcpherson, the mountain also holds a somber tale, a tale of adventure turned tragedy, and a family's unwavering search for the truth amidst the frozen peaks. In the autumn of 1981, the Great Smoky Mountains wore a majestic cloak of reds, oranges, and yellows, painting a breathtaking canvas that attracts nature lovers from far and wide. Nestled in the heart of this natural splendor lies the Deep Creek Campground, a haven for those seeking the serene embrace of nature and the simple joys of outdoor life. It is here, amidst the whispering trees and meandering trails, that Thelma, Pauline, Melton, or Polly, and her husband, Bob Melton, find their seasonal retreat, escaping the hustle of the everyday to bask in the tranquil beauty of the fall months. Polly, rarely known by her given name, Thelma, carries life stories woven with threads of joy, hardship, and adventure. Married to Bob, a man 20 years her senior, their union marks Polly's third attempt at matrimonial bliss. Yet, it is with Bob that Polly seems to have found a true partner, with whom she shared not just her love, but a zest for the nomadic lifestyle that sees them living out of an Airstream trailer. This portable home on wheels symbolizes more than just a means of travel. It represents freedom, a shared dream, and a life unbound by the conventional.
Standing here, amidst fall colors in the Great Smoky Mountains, I feel an overwhelming sense of peace. Deep Creek Campground isn't just a retreat, it's become a part of who I am. Our life together, unconventional as it may be, living out of our Airstream trailer, represents freedom, a shared dream, a testament to a life unbound by the usual paths. Every day is a new adventure, and as I look out at the mountains, I'm grateful for the journey that brought me here. With Bob by my side, I've found a completeness I didn't know I was searching for. This life, our life, is unconventional, but it's ours, and I wouldn't have it any other way. This is my home.
Their bond, strengthened by the shared silence and laughter within the compact walls of their Airstream, grows deeper with each passing year. Bob, now 78, finds his world increasingly confined to the interior of their mobile home. His health, a declining slope that contrasts sharply with the vibrant landscape outside. Polly, 58, vibrant and full of life, finds solace and strength in the great outdoors, her passion for hiking undimmed by the passing years or her own battles with health issues. Each fall, as the mountains call, Polly and Bob make their trip to the Deep Creek Campground. It's a ritual, an annual journey that Polly treasures above all else. For 2 decades, this tradition has anchored her, a constant in her life marked by change. The campground, with its community of fellow retirees and nature enthusiasts, becomes a second home, a place where Polly is not just known but cherished. Here, friendships are forged in campfires and conversations under the vast canopy of the stars. The dynamics within this close-knit community are unique. Newcomers are embraced only through a collective nod of approval, a testament to the tight bonds formed in this secluded paradise. Polly, with her easy smile and helping hand, is a linchpin in this community, her presence as familiar as the perennial trees surrounding them. With Bob by her side, albeit more in spirit than on hikes, Polly navigates the trails and the complexities of campground relationships with equal ease. Her life rich with the threads of nature, love, and communal living.
Arriving at Deep Creek Campground in the heart of the Great Smoky Mountains' fall splendor, I was immediately struck by the vibrant colors and the sense of community that seemed to permeate the air. I had heard about the close-knit group of retirees and nature lovers who called this place a second home, and I was eager to find my own place among them. It wasn't long before I learned of Polly and Bob Melton, pillars of this community. Polly, with her infectious smile and generous spirit, quickly became a figure of intrigue and admiration for me. She navigated the campground and its relationships with a grace that made her beloved by all. Bob, though less physically present on the trails, was equally a part of the community's heart, his bond with Polly a testament to enduring partnership. As the days passed, I found myself becoming more intertwined with the life here. The welcoming nature of the community, so deeply influenced by Polly's warmth and Bob's quiet strength, offered a sense of belonging I hadn't known I was seeking. Around campfires and under the canopy of stars, I began to weave my own threads into the fabric of this community, discovering a life enriched by nature, companionship, and shared stories. Here, in the embrace of the mountains and the company of newfound friends, I found a home.
As 1981 unfolds, the serene beauty of the Smoky Mountains and the predictable rhythm of campground life mask the undercurrents of mystery that swirl quietly beneath the surface. Little does anyone know, this year will etch the name Thelma, Pauline, Polly, Melton into the fabric of unsolved mysteries. Her story, a whisper among the rustling leaves, a shadow in the misty expanse of the mountain that she so dearly loves. On the morning of September 25th, 1981, the dense canopy of the Great Smoky Mountains seemed to hold its breath, a prelude to the day that would etch itself into the memory of the Deep Creek Campground. Polly made an uncharacteristic choice that morning. For years, her routine had been as predictable as the sunrise, including her commitment to serving food to local senior citizens, a task that she approached with a blend of duty and delight. Yet, on this day, Polly opted out, setting aside her volunteer apron for reasons that would remain a whisper among the trees. This decision was the first thread of abnormality in what was to unfold as a mystery. Polly instead turned her focus to the mountains that called to her spirit. As she readied herself, her actions seemed no different from any other day destined for the trails, except for the palpable absence of her usual morning destination. Joined by her friends Red and Truella, the trio set off into the heart of the Smoky Mountains. The air was crisp. The path ahead was a familiar friend to Polly, who had traversed these trails countless times before. Laughter and light-hearted teasing flowed easily among them, a testament to the depths of their friendship and the joy they found in each other's company. Polly, usually keeping pace with Red and Truella, inexplicably began to accelerate, her strides growing longer, her pace quickening, until she was a solitary figure on the move ahead.
At first I thought it was all in jest, a playful challenge perhaps, but the widening gap between us felt out of character. "Polly, wait up," I called, half laughing, half concerned. Yet she didn't slow down. My laughter faded into the crisp mountain air, replaced by a growing unease. What prompted this sudden burst of speed? Was Polly simply lost in thought, or was there something more pressing on her mind? As she disappeared from view, a knot formed in my stomach. This wasn't like our Polly, the friend who thrived on our camaraderie, who always made sure we were together, especially in the unpredictable wilderness of the Smokies. I exchanged a look with Truella, both of us masked in confusion and concern. We quickened our pace, hoping to catch up, to return to the comfortable rhythm of our friendship that seemed, in that moment, as distant as Polly herself.
The playful banter that had been a constant companion on their hikes fell silent as Polly's form became smaller, eventually disappearing over a crest in the trail. It was a moment suspended in time, when the ordinary act of hiking morphed into the opening scene of a mystery that would haunt the campground. When Red and Truella reached the point where Polly had vanished from their view, they found not their friend, but the empty path, an eerie, quiet setting over the forest. Panic, a foreign intruder on their routine hikes, crept into the hearts of Red and Truella. Confusion painted their features as they called out for Polly, their voices swallowed by the vastness of the mountains. The initial search, fueled by a growing sense of urgency, yielded no sign of their friend. The decision to involve the park rangers marked the escalation of the situation from a simple misunderstanding to a full-scale search and rescue operation. The tranquility of Deep Creek Campground was shattered, replaced by the frantic energy of the search teams and the whispered fears of a community suddenly thrust into the unknown.
The moment we realized Polly was missing, a cold wave of panic washed over me. Our calls for her, desperate and hopeful, were just absorbed by the vastness of the mountains, leaving us in a suffocating silence. What started as a routine hike spiraled into confusion and fear as Polly remained nowhere to be found. We had to get the park rangers involved, marking a grim turn from a mere worry to a serious search operation. The peaceful atmosphere of Deep Creek Campground was shattered, now pulsing with the urgent movements of search teams and the anxious murmurs of our tight-knit community. As darkness fell upon the mountains, the reality of the situation sank in. The Smokies, a place of joy and refuge for Polly, had become the backdrop for our worst fears. Dawn brought no relief, only the intensification of the search as volunteers joined, transforming the landscape into a frenzy of activity. I was struck by the community's outpouring of support, yet beneath the action, a deep unease gnawed at me. The mountains, our sanctuary, now held a mystery that seemed as vast and impenetrable as the forests themselves. With each unanswered call, with every unturned leaf, the weight of Polly's absence grew heavier, turning what should have been an ordinary day into anything but.
Despite the collective resolve fueling the search, each effort seemed to dissolve into the mountain air, leaving behind a trail of frustration and unanswered questions. The distinctive pattern of Polly's shoe prints, a potential breadcrumb in the vast wilderness, offered a glimmer of hope, a tangible connection to the woman who had vanished. Search dogs, with their keen senses, were unleashed into the forest, their noses skimming the ground, seeking any scent of Polly. Yet, even their remarkable abilities seemed to falter against the mystery, leading only to dead ends and deepening the sense of perplexity surrounding her disappearance. The campground and the broader community of Bryson City, bound by the shared rhythm of seasonal migrants and the camaraderie of the great outdoors, found themselves united in shock and disbelief. The tight-knit fabric of this community, where newcomers were embraced only through collective agreement, now faced the unthinkable. Conversations around campfires turned somber, the laughter and stories of yesteryears overshadowed by the pervasive question, what happened to Polly? This collective bewilderment and concern underscored the deep connections formed, where Polly was not just a familiar face, but a cherished member of an extended family. As days turned into weeks without any sign of Polly, the void left by her absence became a breeding ground for theories and speculation. Some theorized the possibility of an abduction, despite the lack of any struggle or witnesses. Theories ventured into the wilderness itself, pondering if an animal attack could be responsible, though the absence of any evidence lent little credence to this idea. Others contemplated a more deliberate disappearance, suggesting that Polly, perhaps overwhelmed by secret troubles or a longing for a new beginning, had orchestrated her own vanishing act.
Since the call came in about Polly's disappearance from Deep Creek Campground, the case has weighed heavily on me. Bryson City, usually alive with the camaraderie of outdoor enthusiasts, now feels subdued, cloaked in a silence that's hard to shake. Campfire gatherings, once full of laughter and stories, now revolve around a single question: what happened to Polly? In my time as sheriff, I've seen my share of cases, but none have echoed through the community like this. The absence of evidence for theories like abduction or an animal attack only fuels more speculation. Some whisper about the possibility of Polly orchestrating her own disappearance, driven by unseen pressures or desires for a new start. With no sign of her, these theories and the collective sense of loss only deepen. Polly was more than a missing person. She was a beloved part of our community fabric. The mystery of her disappearance, set against the backdrop of the Smokies, is a puzzle that's proving difficult to solve. My role demands objectivity and focus on the facts, yet I can't help but feel entwined in the community's search for answers and closure. This isn't just another case, it's a quest to restore peace to a community that's lost one of its own.
Each theory reflected the desperation and hope of a community grappling with the unknown. Whispers of otherworldly explanations even began to surface, with suggestions of supernatural forces at play in the dense, ancient forests of the Smokies. As the search expanded in scope and scale, the mystery of Polly's disappearance only deepened, casting a long shadow over the Deep Creek campground and the hearts of those who called it home. As the initial shock of Polly Melton's disappearance settled into a persistent, uneasy quiet, attention turned to the fragments of behavior and evidence she left in her wake. The day before she vanished, Polly deviated from her routine in a manner that was both subtle and striking. Her decision to make multiple phone calls from a location she seldom used for such purposes painted a picture of premeditation, or perhaps a silent cry for help. These calls, shrouded in mystery due to the lack of traceable records, became a focal point for speculation. Who was on the other end of the line? Was Polly reaching out to someone as part of a plan to start anew? Or were these conversations a lifeline thrown in a moment of distress?
Who was she calling, and why keep it a secret from us, her friends? At night, the quiet of the camp was a reminder of her absence. Those calls, were they a sign we all missed? The idea that she might have been silently struggling, or even planning to leave, was haunting. Polly was the life of our group. It's hard to imagine she had troubles she didn't share. With every day that passed without a trace of her, those phone calls became a puzzle we couldn't solve, a piece of the mystery that kept us awake at night. It's the not knowing that's the worst part, the feeling of having missed the chance to help a friend in need.
Further adding to the complexity was Polly's mental state. Known to be a private person, Polly had navigated the loss of her mother with a resilience that masked the depths of her sorrow. Yet, beneath the surface, there were whispers of depression, a battle fought quietly and perhaps not entirely overcome. The disappearance of Bob's Valium, a medication not prescribed to Polly but within her reach, suggested a turmoil that went deeper than many realized. Was it a coincidence, or did it hint at a desperate attempt to find solace in oblivion? 6 months after Polly stepped into the unknown, a new clue emerged, as baffling as it was unexpected. A check bearing Polly's name was cashed in Birmingham, Alabama. This city, a thread woven into the tapestry of Polly's past, suddenly became a beacon for those searching for answers. The signature on the check, a mimicry of Polly's own handwriting, suggested an involvement, but fell short of conclusive proof. Was Polly alive, orchestrating her disappearance with a precision that left her loved ones grappling in the dark? Or was someone else manipulating the strands of her story, casting shadows over the truth? The cashed check did not have a clear narrative and injected a new layer of complexity into the theories surrounding Polly's fate. It stood as a solitary signpost pointing towards a life that might still be lived, or a ruse crafted to mislead. The implications of this financial transaction rippled through the community, reigniting the embers of hope and suspicion in equal measure. In the search for Polly Melton, every clue seemed to deepen the mystery rather than illuminate the path to understanding. The unusual behaviors, the untraceable phone calls, and the Valium that vanished all converged around the cashed check, leaving those who sought the truth pondering the mysterious twists of fate that could hide a woman from the world or reveal her secrets to those who dared to look closer. Bob Melton, Polly's husband, found himself adrift in a sea of uncertainty, his health and spirit diminished by the weight of her absence. Friends who had shared trails, laughter, and the simple pleasures of campground life now faced the empty space where Polly once stood, her presence irreplaceably void. The fabric of the community, so tightly knit around shared experiences and mutual affection, frayed at the edges, leaving those within it grappling with a loss that extended beyond the physical. The mystery of what happened to Polly Melton remains a question mark hanging over the Smoky Mountains. The story of her disappearance touched not just those who searched the woods and called her name, but also those who hear her story and felt the chill of the unresolved fate. The emotional toll exacted by Polly's vanishing was not measured in days of searching or miles traversed, but in the quiet moments of reflection, the birthdays and anniversaries that passed without her, and the haunting realization that some questions may remain forever unanswered. The legacy of Polly's disappearance is a story of love, loss, and the relentless pursuit of truth. If you have any information, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, you are urged to come forward. In the quest for answers, every piece of the puzzle is crucial. It is through this collective effort that we may yet find the closure so deeply sought, not just for Polly's sake, but for those all touched by her story. Nestled within the heart of Arizona lies the Grand Canyon, a majestic natural wonder that captivates with its awe-inspiring beauty. Known as one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, the Grand Canyon is not only a testament to nature's artistry, but also a place that harbors a more somber reality. Recent investigations have shed light on a chilling aspect of this iconic landmark. It holds the distinction of being the deadliest national park in the United States, marked by a history of mysterious disappearances and fatalities. From 2018 through February of 2023, the Grand Canyon National Park has been the site where at least 6 individuals were found deceased and 56 others vanished without a trace. During this period, approximately 1,100 missing person reports were filed by visitors, with most fortunately being found. However, the sheer volume of these incidents underscores the unpredictable and often perilous nature of exploring this vast canyon. The Grand Canyon's lethal allure is not confined to its steep cliffs or trails. The park's retired chief of emergency services highlighted various perils that have claimed lives, including heat stroke, lightning strikes, drowning in the river's turbulent waters, suicide, accidental falls, and air crashes. On average, about 12 individuals succumb to the canyon's dangers annually, a figure that starkly contrasts with official statistics. Visitors to the Grand Canyon are confronted with extreme conditions that can quickly turn a journey of discovery into a fight for survival. The intense heat of the inner canyon, where temperatures can soar above 120 degrees in the shade, poses a significant risk of heat-related illnesses. The National Park Service strongly advises against attempting to hike from the rim to the river and back in a single day, especially during the sweltering summer months. The risk of heat exhaustion, heat stroke, and dehydration is alarmingly high, exacerbated by the drastic temperature differences between the canyon's rims and its depths. Adding to the challenge are the significant elevation changes within the canyon. The North Rim, sitting at approximately 8,000 feet, and the South Rim, reaching up to 7,000 feet, expose hikers to the risk of altitude sickness. Symptoms range from mild headaches and nausea to severe disorientation and respiratory difficulties, making the canyon's steep and rugged trails even more daunting. Despite these hazards, the Grand Canyon continues to draw nearly 6 million visitors each year, especially during the peak summer season. This influx of tourists, combined with the extreme environmental conditions, places a considerable strain on rescue operations. The park's unique status as the only national park with a year-round on-site rescue helicopter underscores the critical need for these resources, even as rescuers may be delayed due to the high volume of calls, staff limitations, and the challenges posed by extreme weather. Yet the call of the Grand Canyon's unparalleled beauty is irresistible. Its vast, colorful expanses and the profound sense of wonder it evokes encourage adventurers to explore its depths, albeit with caution. The key to safely experiencing the Grand Canyon's wonders lies in preparation, research, and the companionship of experienced guides. By acknowledging the risks and taking informed steps to mitigate them, visitors can immerse themselves in the transformative beauty of the Grand Canyon without becoming part of its darker narratives of mystery and lost. Now, let's delve into the stories of the missing in the Grand Canyon National Park. In the quiet coastal community of Gulf Breeze, Florida, the disappearance of 23-year-old Adam Clayton Lyle Jones in the spring of 2011 began as a simple departure from Florida and evolved into a profound mystery. Adam's story, characterized by inexplicable decisions and a sudden vanishing, continues to haunt those seeking answers. On a seemingly ordinary day, March 31st of 2011, Adam left his home. His retreat was marked by a peculiar lack of preparation. While most would carry essentials for a long trip, Adam took only his laptop, leaving behind his cell phone and other personal items. This choice painted the first stroke of mystery in Adam's case. Why embark on a lengthy journey with such minimal belongings? Adam's mode of transportation, a 1986 Oldsmobile sedan, was easily recognizable. It was light blue with a distinctive dark blue vinyl top and missing hubcaps. The car itself was later found abandoned. This would become a significant clue in unraveling the mystery of his whereabouts. The discovery of Adam's car was made by a ranger at the Grand Canyon Visitor Center on May 5th of 2011, over a month after his departure. This was the moment Adam's disappearance transformed from a family concern into a broader puzzle. Inside the vehicle, an itinerary revealed plans seemingly uncharacteristic of an impromptu trip. It listed destinations in Denver, Colorado, and various cities in California, suggesting a route that Adam had possibly planned with care. The car's location at the Grand Canyon's south rim added layers to the mystery. The canyon, known for its vast and imposing landscape, seemed an unlikely destination for Adam, given the absence of personal effects or preparation for a trek in such challenging terrain. Why was Adam drawn to this iconic yet daunting location? Was the Grand Canyon a planned destination or merely a stop along a route dictated by an unknown purpose? Attempts to trace Adam's movements led to a trail of transactions across Louisiana and Texas, as indicated by his debit card. Yet, these traces provided no insights into his intentions or state of mind. A potential lead, a friend in Yuma, Arizona, yielded no new information, deepening the intrigue surrounding this journey. Adam's physical description was widely circulated. A young man with short brown hair, blue eyes, possibly sporting facial hair, and with distinct heavy eyebrows. His casual attire, consisting of a t-shirt, jeans, and tennis shoes, was more suited for a day out rather than a voyage into the wilderness of the Grand Canyon. This mismatch between his apparent destination and his preparedness added to the puzzling nature of this disappearance. The case took an even more baffling turn with the complete lack of communication. Adam's decision to travel without a cell phone meant that there were no digital breadcrumbs to follow, a rarity in the age of electronic communication. The lack of any digital or personal trail after his departure from Florida only compounded the mystery. The situation left Adam's family, friends, and the authorities grappling with numerous unanswered questions. What led Adam to embark on this journey? What was the significance of the destination marked on his itinerary? And most crucially, what happened to him after his car was found abandoned at one of the nation's most renowned natural landmarks? As time passed, the mystery of Adam Clayton Lyle Jones's fate continues to perplex those who knew him and those who later became acquainted with his story. The circumstances of his disappearance, the unexplained nature of his travel plans, and the puzzling discovery of his abandoned car at the Grand Canyon form a narrative that is as confounding as it is intriguing. Adam's case remains a mystery, unsolved and puzzling, leaving a lingering question mark over the events of the spring of 2011 at the Grand Canyon. In June of 2016, a meticulously planned hiking expedition in the Grand Canyon set off, spearheaded by Floyd Roberts, a 52-year-old high school teacher from Tampa, Florida, and his lifelong friend, Ned Bryant, along with Bryant's 12-year-old daughter, Madeline. Roberts was an experienced hiker with prior Grand Canyon treks under his belt. The trio's adventure was to span 9 days, traversing plateaus with an exit planned via Separation Canyon. Their journey started near the Kelly Tank area, heading towards the intersection of Trail Canyon and 214-Mile Canyon, close to Shanley Spring. Their route was charted to stick close to the river, possibly leading them down into 209-Mile Canyon. This path, while challenging, was within the grasp of their experience. However, the plan began to unravel late on the first day, June 17th. Around 4:45 p.m., before reaching the main trail, the group encountered a small hill. Ned, Bryant, and Madeline chose to go over the hill, while Roberts decided to contour around it. This decision was not expected to significantly alter their paths, as both routes were roughly equivalent in duration. However, Roberts' route involved navigating through thick brush. The conditions that day were harsh, with temperatures around 92 degrees Fahrenheit and expected to rise to a scorching 110 degrees in the following days. When Bryant and his daughter made it to the other side of the hill, Roberts was nowhere to be found. The Bryants immediately backtracked, searching for any sign of Roberts, but found none. The absence of any trace of him was bewildering, especially considering the group had only been separated for about 30 minutes. They decided to camp for the night, hoping Roberts, who was well equipped with 2 gallons of water, a week's worth of food, and a map, would find his way back. By the morning of June 18th, there was still no sign of Roberts. Bryant and his daughter had to hike out to find cell phone reception, which they managed to do by 3 p.m., subsequently reporting Roberts missing to the National Park Service. The search for Roberts was further complicated by the extreme remoteness, which required several hours of travel for search teams to even reach the area each day. The search efforts quickly escalated, involving ground teams from various counties and national parks, supported by aerial assistance. Over 10 square miles of wilderness were scoured for any trace of Roberts, but the search yielded nothing. Not even Roberts' gear, footprints, or any sign of his passage was found. The conditions were exceptionally challenging, with extreme heat and dense brush, but the lack of any evidence was perplexing. Despite the extensive and thorough search, no clues emerged to guide the efforts. After 6 days, the search was scaled back. While continuous but limited, the search involved rangers and pilots looking for clues whenever in the area, and flyers with Roberts' description remained posted. However, the absence of any leads or evidence has left this case shrouded in mystery. Roberts, a survivor known for his hiking skills and knowledge of finding water, had seemingly vanished without a trace, leaving behind only questions and theories about his disappearance. The mystery deepened as days turned into weeks without any sign of Roberts. The area, known for its rugged and remote terrain, offered no clues. Roberts' experience as a hiker, his previous expeditions in the Grand Canyon, and his survival skills made his disappearance all the more baffling. He had hiked with Bryant several times since their first trip together in 1992 and was considered to be very familiar with the challenges of such an environment. The search teams, initially consisting of about 15 people, had expanded significantly, incorporating resources from several counties and specialized aerial support. Despite their efforts, the vastness of the Grand Canyon and the extreme summer heat posed significant challenges. The thick brush and the treacherous terrain further complicated the search. The search raised several questions. His decision to contour around the hill rather than go over it with Bryant and Madeline, a seemingly minor choice, had led to a complete vanishing. The fact that Roberts was well prepared for the hike, carrying ample water and food supplies, added to the perplexity of the situation. His physical description and the details of his last known clothing were widely disseminated, but no hiker or visitor reported any sightings. Family and friends held on to hope, recalling Roberts' character and resilience. His background as a NASA worker in Alabama and a computer teacher in Tampa reflected his intellectual capability and problem-solving skills. His friends expressed confidence in Roberts' survival skills, believing that unless severely injured, Roberts would have managed to find water and survive. The relentless heat of the Grand Canyon in June, often soaring to life-threatening temperatures, posed a significant risk. The National Weather Service's extensive heat warning underscored the severity of the conditions Robert would have faced. These conditions would test even the most experienced hikers' survival skills. As the months passed, Rangers and pilots kept an eye out for any clues in their routine patrols. Flyers remained posted, and the National Park Service kept the case open, urging anyone with information to come forward. The questions surrounding Roberts' disappearance still lingered, adding his name to the list of mysterious vanishings in national parks. His case remains a subject of speculation and discussion among hiking communities, with some considering the possibility of an unfortunate accident or encountering the canyon's wildlife. Others ponder a more puzzling explanation due to the lack of any physical evidence. Floyd Roberts stood 5 foot 11 inches tall and weighed around 170 pounds. He had gray hair, brown eyes, and was last seen wearing a red long-sleeve shirt, blue jeans, multicolored mesh Nike sneakers, a large blue Alpine backpack, and white-rimmed sunglasses with orange lenses. The case of Floyd Roberts, a seasoned hiker who vanished into the vastness of the Grand Canyon, remains an unsolved mystery, a reminder of the unpredictable and often unforgiving nature of the wilderness. Roberts' disappearance continues to be a topic of intrigue and speculation, a story that encapsulates the mystery and allure of one of the world's most magnificent natural wonders. In the realm of unexplained mysteries, the disappearance of 21-year-old geology student Drake Kramer continues to haunt the picturesque landscape of the Grand Canyon National Park in Arizona. A young man from San Antonio, Texas, with a bright future ahead, Drake was passionate about the Earth's hidden treasures, his life seemingly dedicated to exploring rocks and minerals. His journey, however, took a perplexing turn on February 1st of 2015 when he vanished near the Bright Angel Lodge, a popular spot bustling with tourists and hikers. Drake, last seen on that fateful evening, left behind only his 2007 Mazda, a silent testament to his sudden absence. His worried parents, Robin and Brenda Kramer, reported him missing the next day. The bafflement surrounding his disappearance deepened with a cryptic text message he sent to his family, stating that he had to give his body to Mother Earth. This message, diverging sharply from his usual demeanor, left his family and friends bewildered and deeply concerned. The unexpected nature of Drake's trip, first to California and then to the Grand Canyon, was out of character. His last encounter with his family was on January 29th, a seemingly normal day where they enjoyed a movie together, and he appeared in high spirits. Drake, known for his love of the outdoors, had visited the Grand Canyon several times, always with friends or companions, making this solitary trip all the more puzzling. An extensive search operation ensued, involving park rangers and dedicated search and rescue teams. They scoured the area from Hermit's Rest to Grand View Point over 6 days, facing the deceptive and rugged terrain of the canyon. Despite favorable weather conditions, Drake remained elusive, with no trace of his whereabouts. The canyon, with its labyrinth of obstacles, seemed to guard its secrets jealously. Questions multiplied as time passed. Was Drake's message a cryptic farewell, a desire to merge with nature, or did it hint at something more sinister? The Grand Canyon, a land of awe-inspiring beauty and ancient secrets, held tight to the mystery of Drake Kramer's disappearance. Drake's father, Robin Kramer, shed light on his son's mindset in the days leading up to the disappearance. He shared that Drake texted him saying he needed to be back with Mother Earth and set his soul free. This revelation intensified the family's worries, propelling the search efforts. Robin recalled Drake's love for nature, particularly the Grand Canyon, an area he had visited multiple times. Drake's passion for the outdoors was evident in his choice to study geology, aiming to spend his life in the embrace of nature. However, the uncertainties about Drake's plans and preparations for the trip were numerous. It wasn't clear if he had taken appropriate hiking equipment with him. The last known image of Drake from his Facebook page only added to the puzzle. The last time Robin Kramer saw his son was when they watched American Sniper on January 29th. Drake seemed to be in good spirits, showing no signs of distress. Working at a Lowe's home improvement store, Drake was living a seemingly normal life. His academic excellence and love for animals painted a picture of a caring and responsible individual. As days turned into weeks, the search continued, with over 40 National Park Service personnel involved. They combed the south rim and the canyon edges, sometimes rappelling down its walls and covering the area by helicopter. The focus area were places that Drake had loved during his previous visits to the canyon. The mystery of Drake Kramer's disappearance lingers, echoing through the canyons and challenging those who dare to explore its majestic yet unforgiving terrain. The mystery of what happened to Drake, why he left, and where he might be remains unsolved, a puzzle that continues to perplex and mystify, leaving everyone, especially his family, in a state of anxious uncertainty. The Grand Canyon and its breathtaking vistas and deep, mysterious crevasses seem to have swallowed Drake whole. The vast expanse of the park, a maze of rugged landscapes and hidden corners, offers countless places for a person to disappear, willingly or not. The search teams, despite their expertise and determination, found themselves at the mercy of the canyon's whims. Every lead, every potential clue seemed to dissolve into the vast wilderness, leaving them with more questions than answers. Drake's disappearance was not just a physical vanishing. It was as if he had evaporated from the very fabric of reality. His cryptic message about returning to Mother Earth suggested a desire to merge with the natural world. But the ambiguity of his words left open the possibility of other, darker interpretations. Was this a premeditated escape, a spur-of-the-moment decision, or something more troubling? The case attracted attention beyond the immediate search efforts. Online communities and amateur sleuths began to piece together Drake's digital footprint, looking for clues in his social media posts and messages. They found references to other places he wanted to visit, like the Redwood Forest and the previous declarations of his love for nature. Yet, none of these provided a clear direction or motive for his disappearance. As months passed, the intensity of the search waned. The Grand Canyon, a place of wonder, had become a haunting reminder of the mystery surrounding Drake. The park's visitors, unaware of the drama that had unfolded, continued to marvel at its beauty, oblivious to the shadows cast by Drake's disappearance. Drake's family, clinging to hope, refused to give up. They appealed to the public for any information, urging anyone who might have seen Drake or known about his plans to come forward. The National Park Service silent witness line was flooded with calls, but none led to a definitive answer. Robin Kramer, in his relentless pursuit of answers, spoke about his son's love for the Grand Canyon, a place that had captivated Drake's heart and imagination. He recalled the specific spots within the park that Drake had always been drawn to, and these areas became the focal points of all the search efforts. Yet, even these beloved locations, where Drake had once found peace and solace, offered no clues to his whereabouts. Drake's physical description was circulated widely and became a familiar image to those following the case. Every hiker fitting this description raised hopes, only to be dashed as yet another false lead. At the time of his disappearance, Drake was described as a young man with brown hair, blue eyes, 5'7" tall, and weighing around 140 pounds. He was often seen wearing a backward-facing baseball cap or a bandana and preferred dark-colored clothing. As time passed, the story of Drake Kramer faded from the headlines, but not from the hearts and minds of those who knew and loved him, and those who had been touched by the mystery of his disappearance. His fate remains unknown, a puzzle that the Grand Canyon seems determined to keep within its vast, silent embrace. In the early 20th century, a love story intertwined with mystery began aboard a passenger ship traveling from San Francisco to Los Angeles. Glen Roland Hyde, a spirited individual from Kimberly, Idaho, and Bessie Leus Haley, an artistic soul from Parkersburg, West Virginia, met and quickly fell in love. Their romance was a whirlwind, leading swiftly to marriage. Glen, a University of Idaho alumnus, managed his family's farm, while Bessie, initially married to Earl Helmy, moved to San Francisco to pursue her artistic dreams. Facing resistance from Earl for a divorce, Bessie relocated to Elko, Nevada, fulfilling residency requirements, and finally divorcing on April 12th of 1928. The next day, she married Glen in Twin Falls, Idaho, setting the stage for a remarkable journey. Their honeymoon was far from typical. The Hydes envisioned an audacious adventure, a boat trip down the Green and Colorado rivers, navigating through the treacherous Grand Canyon. Glen, an experienced outdoorsman, aimed to set a speed record for the canyon run, and Bessie aspired to become the first documented woman to traverse the Grand Canyon via the Colorado River. The couple built a homemade boat, a 20-foot long, 5.5-foot wide, and 3-foot deep flat-bottom sweep scow from 2x4 planks. Despite Bessie's lack of river experience, they embarked on their journey with determination. Their path took them through Labyrinth, Stillwater, and the Cataract Canyons, with the Grand Canyon posing the ultimate challenge. During their journey, the couple experienced close calls, with Glen falling overboard and Bessie nearly being tossed overboard by the rapids. On October 20th of 1928, 6 months after their wedding, they began their journey from Green River, Utah. Their boat was unique, likened to a coffin by an adaptive riverman due to its unusual design compared to typical river crafts. This leg of their journey saw smooth sailing initially, but as they reached the Grand Canyon, the true test of their adventure began. Upon reaching Bright Angel Creek in the Grand Canyon on November 15th of 1928, they set a new record for their expedition. However, the most dangerous part of their journey was still ahead. They ascended the Bright Angel Trail to Grand Canyon Village on the South Rim, where they resupplied and met Emery Kolb, a famed photographer and river navigator. Kolb, concerned for their safety, offered life jackets and an inner tube, but Glen declined, confident in their swimming abilities. Kolb also observed Bessie's hesitance, perhaps due to exhaustion or fear of the upcoming rapids. Despite Kolb's warnings, the couple persisted. They were photographed by Kolb before leaving the South Rim on November 16th of 1928 after being interviewed by newspapers. These photographs would become the last known images of the couple. They picked up Adolph Sutro at Phantom Ranch, but after leaving him at Hermit Camp 2 days later, they vanished, leaving behind a mystery that would captivate the world for decades. When the Hydes failed to arrive in Needles, California by their expected date, Glen's father, R.C. Hyde, initiated a search. He organized river parties, enlisted Native American trackers, and secured authorization for an aerial search. The discovery of their boat adrift near mile marker 225 around December 19th was a pivotal moment in the search. The boat was intact, with all their supplies still on board, but Glen and Bessie were nowhere to be found. The mystery of their disappearance led to various theories and rumors. Some speculated an accident in the rapids, while others pondered foul play or a deliberate disappearance. Over the years, these theories have evolved in new, mysterious ways and findings. In 1971, an elderly woman on a commercial rafting trip claimed to be Bessie Hyde, alleging she had stabbed Glen and escaped the canyon. However, she later recanted this story. After her death in 1992, a pistol and a copy of the Hyde's marriage certificate were found in her belongings. This stirred speculation. However, the discrepancies in appearance and background seems to discredit her story. The discovery of a male skeleton on Emery Kolb's property in 1976, initially thought to be Glen's, was later identified as an unrelated suicide victim from 1933. This discovery, coupled with later analysis, ruled out the possibility of the remains being Glen's. The Hyde story remains shrouded in mystery, with the exact details of their disappearance still unknown. Theories range from accidental drowning to more sinister possibilities, yet without conclusive evidence, their fate remains a topic of speculation and intrigue. The Grand Canyon, with its majestic beauty and hidden dangers, holds the secret of what truly happened to Glen and Bessie Hyde on their adventurous and ill-fated honeymoon journey. Their disappearance is a stark reminder of the unpredictable nature of the Grand Canyon and its waters. The legacy of Glen and Bessie Hyde lives on, not just as a tale of adventure and romance, but as a haunting mystery of the Colorado River and the Grand Canyon. In the vast and rugged expanse of the Kaibab National Forest, adjacent to the awe-inspiring Grand Canyon, a baffling mystery unfolded in the summer of 2001. This is the puzzling tale of 13-year-old Justin Richardson, whose disappearance has left an indelible mark on the dense wilderness of Coconino County, Arizona. Justin, known for his adventurous spirit and deep affinity for nature, embarked on what was supposed to be an exhilarating exploration with 3 friends who were significantly older, all between the ages of 18 and 21. Their shared passion for the wild and a strong sense of camaraderie led them deep into the forest's heart. However, the adventure took an ominous turn when 2 of their group inadvertently strayed off the path, putting the trip in total disarray. In their concern for the safety of their lost companions, Justin and his remaining friend made the fateful decision to split up. They sought assistance from a stranger they encountered in the wilderness, a rugged individual whose presence in the forest was as mysterious as it was puzzling. While the stranger ventured back into the forest to search for the missing hikers, Justin and his friends hurried to alert the authorities. As search and rescue efforts unfolded, the 2 lost hikers were eventually found, shaken but physically unharmed. However, amidst the chaos, Justin mysteriously vanished, leaving no trace behind. The news of his disappearance sent shockwaves through the small community of Teton, a town near the Grand Canyon where Justin lived with his father. Justin's relationship with the Kaibab National Forest was profound. He had traversed its trails numerous times, each expedition honing his resilience and deepening his understanding of the terrain. Yet beneath the surface of his disappearance lay a web of complexities and troubling speculations. Justin had a history of running away, and rumors began to swirl that he might have chosen to vanish deliberately, perhaps hitchhiking his way out of the wilderness. There was talk that he might have been headed to Chicago, driven by a longing to reunite with his girlfriend who awaited him there. However, the Coconino County Sheriff's Department harbored a grimmer theory. They suspected foul play, an encounter in the forest depths that might have had sinister consequences. The investigation into Justin's disappearance was exhaustive. Authorities combed through the forest, interviewed witnesses, and delved into every aspect of Justin's life. They learned about his complex home life, his popularity, and his tendency to be independent and occasionally rebellious. It was revealed that Justin and his companions had ventured into the forest with the intention of using drugs. Evidence suggested he had been experimenting with drugs and alcohol for about a year before his disappearance. One of the most puzzling aspects of the case was the behavior of the man who had last seen Justin. After becoming separated from the boy, this individual experienced a methamphetamine-induced blackout. When he woke up hours later, Justin was gone. The man eventually emerged from the forest and hitchhiked back to Tucson, yet he did not report Justin missing at the time. Justin's disappearance was not reported until 3 days later, on July 2nd, by his family. The delay in reporting and the initial lack of urgency by the authorities hampered the search efforts. His father, who lived in Tucson, and his mother, residing in Flagstaff, were engulfed in fear and confusion as the search for their son intensified. Despite the extensive search efforts, which included covering 64 miles of forest on foot, horseback, and on helicopter, no trace of Justin was ever found. The mystery deepened in 2014 when the Cold Case Unit uncovered evidence suggesting Justin had returned to the area near the Moqui Lodge after he was last seen. The nature of this evidence was not disclosed, adding another layer of mystery to the case. Over the years, Justin's case had been plagued by various theories. Some investigators believed he could have been a victim of homicide in the forest around the time that he went missing. Others considered the possibility of him running away to start a new life, yet the lack of any confirmed sightings, the absence of any activity on his social security number, and the fact that he left without any personal belongings or money pointed towards a more tragic outcome. The Coconino County Sheriff's Department has kept the case active, continuing to track persons of interest and follow up on leads. One of the men Justin was with on that fateful day is now deceased, an event that the authorities say does not appear related to Justin's disappearance. The mystery of what happened to Justin Richardson in the Kaibab National Forest remains unsolved, a haunting puzzle that continues to perplex investigators and haunt those who knew him. The dense forest, with its majestic beauty and hidden dangers, holds the secrets of that summer day, secrets that have yet to be revealed. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact the Coconino County Sheriff's Cold Case Division in hopes that one day the mystery of Justin Richardson's disappearance will be solved. In the heart of the Grand Canyon National Park, a baffling mystery began to unfold on June 2nd of 2015. Morgan Elias Heimer, a 22-year-old river guide and University of Wyoming English student, embarked on what was supposed to be an adventurous journey down the Colorado River. An experienced outdoorsman and a superb swimmer, Morgan's skills were well suited for the rigors of river guiding. However, no one could have predicted the strange turn of events that would soon transpire. Working for Tour West, a commercial rafting company, Morgan was guiding a group on an 8-day rafting trip. They had successfully navigated 6 days of their journey, approaching the peculiar and picturesque Pumpkin Springs at mile marker 213 on the river. Known for its orange rock formations and warm waters laced with toxic metals, Pumpkin Springs presents a unique backdrop to the trip. On that fateful afternoon, around 4 p.m., as the group was near the cliff by Pumpkin Springs, Morgan spoke with the lead guide. He mentioned needing some personal time that afternoon, a request not uncommon in such settings. The guide, momentarily distracted by a client, turned away. When he looked back, Morgan had vanished without a trace. Initially, the guide assumed Morgan had taken his break, but as the evening approached and Morgan failed to reappear, concern grew. The group continued their activities, swimming in the river and gathering for dinner, but Morgan's absence became increasingly alarming. At 7:26 p.m., one of the group members reported him missing. The search for Morgan commenced immediately, spearheaded by park rangers and search and rescue teams. They scoured the river and surrounding areas, extending from mile markers 211 to 215, and eventually to Diamond Creek, 12 miles west of Pumpkin Springs. Despite his skill and experience, which led investigators to believe he had a high chance of survival if lost, the search yielded no results. Fellow employees from Tour West, clients on the river trip, and other river guides and their groups were interviewed, but no clues emerged. As days passed, the likelihood of finding Morgan grew dimmer. Theories about his disappearance ranged from a tragic accident in the river's rapids, a fall from a cliff, or even a deliberate decision to disappear. The lack of evidence left all possibilities open, turning Morgan's case into a perplexing and unsolved mystery. The Grand Canyon, with its vast and rugged terrain, has been known to conceal its secrets well. In Morgan's case, it seemed to have done just that. Whether he met an accidental fate in the Colorado River, became lost in the wilderness, or chose a path that led him away from the tour remains unknown. His disappearance continues to be a source of speculation and intrigue for those who hear his story. The days following Morgan Elias Heimer's disappearance saw an intense and exhaustive search, but the Grand Canyon, with its treacherous terrain and sprawling expanse, offered no clues. The search teams, experienced in navigating the challenging environment of the canyon, were baffled. Morgan, with his background as a seasoned outdoorsman and an excellent swimmer, was equipped with the skills to survive in such a setting, yet there remained no sign of him. The mystery deepened as those who knew Morgan pondered over his sudden and unexplained absence. Born and raised in Cody, Wyoming, Morgan had spent his life immersed in nature. His love for the outdoors was evident from an early age. His pursuit of an English degree at the University of Wyoming was balanced with his passion for the wilderness, leading him to a career as a river guide. This balance of academic pursuits and outdoor adventures defined Morgan, making his disappearance all the more perplexing. The circumstances of that day in 2015 were scrutinized for clues. Morgan's conversation with the lead guide about taking some time off, the guide's brief distraction, and Morgan's subsequent disappearance presents a baffling sequence of events. Questions arose about Morgan's state of mind and intentions. Was this a spur-of-the-moment decision to seek solitude, or something more concerning? Without clear answers, speculation fills this void. As the search went on, theories varied. Some considered the possibility of an accidental fall into the river, a misstep on a treacherous canyon terrain, or an unfortunate encounter with the canyon's wildlife. Others contemplated more distressing possibilities, including the chance that Morgan might have been dealing with personal struggles, leading to a deliberate choice to walk away from his current life. Despite all these theories and speculations, the search teams remained focused on their mission. The area around Pumpkin Springs, known for its unique geographical features and the hazardous waters within, was thoroughly examined. The search extended to Diamond Creek, a remote location offering its own set of challenges. The efforts of the search teams, coupled with the interviews of those who were with Morgan on the trip, painted a picture of a young man in his prime element, yet who also mysteriously vanished. As the search was eventually scaled back, the absence of any definitive evidence left Morgan's fate uncertain. His description as a young man with a cross tattoo on his leg became a key point in the ongoing efforts to locate him. The community, both local and beyond, held on to hope, even as the chances of finding Morgan alive diminished. In the years that followed, Morgan's disappearance remained a topic of discussion and intrigue among those who traversed the Grand Canyon. His story, a blend of adventure and mystery, became part of the canyon's lore, a tale of a young man who ventured into its depths and never returned. When Morgan Heimer was last seen, he was described as a white male standing 6 feet tall, weighing around 175 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. Morgan was last seen wearing a dark-colored personal flotation device, a blue plaid long-sleeve shirt, flip-flops, a maroon baseball cap, brightly colored shorts, and carrying a purple water bottle. To this day, what happened to Morgan Elias Heimer on the banks of the Colorado River is a question that lingers. The Grand Canyon, a place of majestic beauty and hidden dangers, keeps its secrets well. Whether Morgan's fate was a result of misadventure, a personal crisis, or something else entirely remains a mystery, a haunting reminder of the canyon's unpredictable nature. In 1978, amidst the sprawling expanse of the Grand Canyon's rugged terrain, a story unfolded that would etch itself into the records of unsolved mysteries. Jeffrey Ridenhour, a 63-year-old, embarked on a journey into the heart of one of nature's most formidable landscapes. An experienced hiker from Southern California, Jeffrey sought refuge from the monotony of urban life, yearning for the freedom and challenge offered by the vast wilderness. The Grand Canyon, a marvel of geological history and testament to the raw power of natural forces, was the backdrop for Jeffrey's ambitious trek. He planned to navigate the south rim of the canyon, a route he had braved only once before. His preparation was meticulous. He parked a station wagon in the Tanner Trails parking lot and had a bicycle strategically placed at the New Hance Trail's end. Jeffrey's journey was to span between these points, traversing the Colorado River's banks, climbing cliffs, and navigating ledges that have witnessed eons of history. A note left on his bicycle served as a silent testament to his intentions. Hiking the canyon, will be out by May 28th. It was a promise to the world and himself, a declaration of his resolve to conquer the challenges that lay ahead. However, the canyon, with its vast expanse of rock, sand, and silence, seemed to defy this very notion of life and death, swallowing up tales of those who dared to traverse its paths. Despite receiving a backcountry permit marked with caution due to his limited canyon hikes, Jeffrey's confidence in his physical capabilities persuaded the issuing ranger. The warnings of extreme temperatures, which had soared above 115 degrees, did little to deter him. The ranger, noting Jeffrey's articulate assurance and the heavy snowfall that winter, which promised more water sources, reluctantly agreed to this journey. As the days passed, Jeffrey's absence became a growing concern. The permit he was supposed to return went unsubmitted, prompting a search that would soon reveal the mysterious disappearance of his vehicle. Initially absent from its designated spot, the Dodge Dart station wagon reappeared, suggesting a return that only deepened the mystery. Rangers speculated that Jeffrey might have come back to resupply, embarking once again into the canyon's depths. The subsequent search operation, launched on June 4th, was unprecedented in scale at the time. Over 50 ground searchers combed the terrain, helicopters circled overhead, and rappelling teams scoured the cliffs and ledges for any sign of Jeffrey. Yet, the canyon remained silent, offering no clues to his whereabouts. The discovery of a pair of glasses and a razor, meticulously placed on a rock near one of Jeffrey's supposed campsites, provided a fleeting hope, yet even these could not be definitively linked to him. As the search extended, covering over 100 square miles of canyon country, the realization dawned that Jeffrey might never be found. The vastness of the Grand Canyon, with its myriad of hiding places and relentless flow of the Colorado River, seemed to have claimed another soul. Rangers contemplated the futility of scuba searches in the river's treacherous waters, resigning themselves to the likelihood that Jeffrey's remains would only surface with time, if at all. The mystery of Jeffrey Ridenhour's disappearance remains unsolved, a narrative lost to the echoes of the Grand Canyon. Despite one of the largest search operations in the park's history, no conclusive evidence has surfaced, leaving only speculation and unanswered questions. The lack of a single photograph or definitive clue has rendered Jeffrey's story a ghostly presence in the canyon's lore. Decades have passed since Jeffrey ventured into the Grand Canyon, never to be seen again. His story, one of adventure, ambition, and the unfathomable mysteries of nature, lingers as a cautionary tale. It reminds us of the canyon's indomitable spirit and the fine line between humanity's quest for adventure and the immutable forces of the natural world. Jeffrey Ridenhour, in his pursuit of solitude and challenge, became a part of the Grand Canyon's mystique, a symbol of eternal dance between man and the wild, where some steps are forever lost in the shadows of towering cliffs and the roaring sound of the river below. The mysterious disappearance of Michael Leus in Grand Canyon National Park presents a narrative filled with unanswered questions and a search operation that gripped the attention of both authorities and the public. Michael Leus, a 39-year-old man from Toole, Utah, vanished without a trace, prompting an exhaustive search and investigation by the National Park Service and igniting concern among those who knew him and the wider community fascinated by the nature of his disappearance. On a seemingly ordinary day, October 31st of 2017, Michael set out to explore the Grand Canyon, a natural wonder known for its breathtaking views and treacherous terrain. It was at Mather Point, a popular viewpoint on the canyon's south rim, where Michael was last seen at approximately 12:15 p.m. This location, known for its panoramic vistas, would become the center of a perplexing mystery. Dressed in a blue hooded sweatshirt and blue Levi jeans, Michael, standing 6 foot tall and weighing around 230 pounds, with brown and graying hair and hazel eyes, blended into the crowd of tourists and adventurers. Unbeknownst to those around him, this might have been the last time anyone would see Michael Leus alive. As hours turned into days, concern for Michael's whereabouts grew. A friend, alarmed by his absence, reported him missing to the park authorities, triggering an immediate response from the Grand Canyon Rangers. The National Park Service launched a comprehensive search operation, scouring the area at Mather Point and extending their efforts along the rim trail between Pipe Creek and Mather Point in hopes of finding any trace of Michael. The Park Service also reached out to the public, urging anyone who might have seen or spoken to Michael to come forward with information, hoping that piece of the puzzle could lead them to his location. The search efforts, marked by a blend of hope and urgency, continued relentlessly until November 10th, when the grim discovery of a body below the south rim along the rim trail brought the operation to an end. The body, recovered by the National Park Service and believed to be that of Michael Legis, was transferred to the county medical examiner's office for identification and to conduct an investigation into the circumstances leading to his death. Michael's story, like many others who have gone missing in the grandeur and peril of the Grand Canyon, underscores the park's dual nature as a place of unparalleled beauty and inherent danger. The Grand Canyon, while inviting explorers and nature enthusiasts to immerse themselves in its splendor, also holds the potential for tragedy amidst its rugged cliffs and extreme weather conditions. Michael's disappearance and the subsequent discovery serves as a reminder of the respect and caution that such wild and unforgiving landscapes demand from those who venture into their depths. In the heart of the summer, under the relentless sun of the Arizona sky, Dr. Sarah Beadle set out with her daughter and nephew on a journey into the Grand Canyon, a testament to nature's grandeur and its unforgiving beauty. An emergency room physician from Fort Worth, Texas, Sarah was not only skilled in the art of healing, but also possessed an adventurous spirit, a passion for the outdoors that she was eager to share with her family. The trip to the Grand Canyon was part of a larger exploration, a venture that had already taken them to the wonders of Yellowstone National Park. Sarah, an experienced backpacker, had meticulously planned this hike, aiming to traverse the South Kaibab Trail, a path renowned for its stunning vistas, but equally notorious for its challenging terrain and conditions. The day began with promise as they descended into the canyon, the vast landscapes unfolding before them. However, as the sun climbed higher, the temperature soared, transforming the canyon from a picturesque marvel into a formidable adversary. The trail, with its lack of shade and absence of water sources, soon exacted its toll. Laura, Sarah's 10-year-old daughter, began showing signs of heat exhaustion, a perilous condition in such an extreme environment, marked by dizziness and dehydration. Faced with this dire situation, Sarah made a critical decision, a decision born out of a mother's instinct to protect her child at any cost. She left Laura and her 11-year-old nephew in what seemed a safe spot, embarking on a solo mission to find water and assistance. As Sarah ventured further, the unforgiving terrain of the Grand Canyon seemed to shift around her. The exact moment she took a wrong turn remains a mystery, a silent witness to the tragedy that unfolded. This wrong turn was a pivotal moment, leading her away from her intended destination into the depths of the canyon's embrace. The details of her journey after this point are shrouded in uncertainty, the canyon keeping its secrets, as it has with countless others who have ventured into its depths. Back at their makeshift refuge, the children's fate took a fortunate turn when a fellow hiker stumbled upon them. This stranger, whose timely intervention brought relief, provided the children with water and guided them to the safety of a nearby camp. Meanwhile, the search for Sarah intensified, a race against time and the elements, as park rangers and volunteers scoured the vast expanse of the canyon. The discovery of Sarah's body near the Black Bridge, a mere 3/4 of a mile from Phantom Ranch, brought the search to a heartbreaking conclusion. The canyon, with its deceptive beauty, had claimed another soul. Located on the north side of the Colorado River, her final resting place was a stark reminder of the perilous nature of this majestic wilderness. The cause of Sarah's death, while not immediately known, was suspected to be heat exhaustion, a silent thief of life in a harsh desert environment. The aftermath of the tragedy saw an outpouring of grief and support for the Beadle family. Scott Beadle, through a Facebook post, shared the devastating news of his wife's passing. The response was overwhelming, with hundreds of messages of condolences and prayers and shared memories flooding in. Sarah was remembered not just as a dedicated physician who worked at Baylor Emergency Medical Center, but as a vibrant, loving mother and an avid adventurer. Her brother, Charles Lawrence Springer, reminisced about Sarah's journey with her children, highlighting her love for sharing the wonders of nature with them. As the National Park Service and the county medical examiner began their investigation into the circumstances leading up to Sarah's death, her story continued to resonate with many. It was a somber reminder of the unpredictability and often perilous nature of outdoor adventures, underscoring the importance of preparation and caution. Sarah's passion for adventure, her love for her family, and her tragic end in the vast expanse of the Grand Canyon will be remembered as a reminder of aspiration, love, and the profound risks inherent in the pursuit of adventures. On a scorching day marked by the unforgiving sun casting its relentless rays over the rugged landscape of the Grand Canyon, Arturo, accompanied by his younger sister Veronica Morgan, embarked on what was supposed to be a memorable hike along the Hermit Trail. Enthusiasm and anticipation filled the air as they ventured into the vast expanse of the canyon, unaware of the ordeal that laid ahead. As they navigated the treacherous terrain, Arturo began to experience severe cramping, a precursor to the dire situation that would soon unfold. The decision to split up, made at a critical juncture when Arturo could no longer proceed, set the stage for a series of events that would test his will to survive. Veronica, in a desperate bid to seek help, struggled to make her way back up the canyon, leaving Arturo alone and vulnerable. The subsequent 48 hours would become a testament to Arturo's resilience. Stranded and isolated, with only his thoughts and dwindling supplies, he faced the stark reality of his mortality. Dehydration took its toll, rendering him too weak to stand, let alone signal for help. In those moments of despair, Arturo prepared himself for the worst, his hopes pinned on the slim chance of rescue. Meanwhile, Emily Hernandez, Arturo's wife, frantically reached out to the rescue services upon realizing that her husband and her sister-in-law had not returned home. The urgency of the situation was palpable as rescue teams from Arizona launched a comprehensive search operation. Equipped with helicopters and ground crews, they scoured the vast and rugged terrain of the Grand Canyon in search of Arturo. Miraculously, after enduring 2 harrowing days in the wilderness, Arturo's prayers were answered. A rescue helicopter, guided by the faint hope of finding him alive, managed to locate him. In a dramatic rescue operation, a rescuer was lowered down a 150-foot line to reach Arturo, who, despite his weakened state, managed to muster the strength to signal his location. He was then hoisted up, clinging to life at the end of the rope, and flown to safety. Arturo's survival story is a harrowing reminder of the unpredictable nature of outdoor adventures and the importance of preparedness. Despite having enough water for the initial hike, he was ill-equipped for the extended ordeal. His experience underscores the critical need for adequate supplies and contingency plans when exploring remote and challenging environments. Arturo recovered in a Flagstaff hospital, surrounded by the love and relief of his family. His story serves as a beacon of hope and a testament to the human spirit's ability to endure against the odds. It's a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the strength that lies within us to confront and overcome the most daunting of challenges. As the final echoes of our journey through the Grand Canyon fade into silence, it's time to reflect upon the profound stories that have unfolded before us. The Grand Canyon, a masterpiece of nature's artistry, has a way of captivating the soul with its majestic beauty, vast landscapes, and the deep, mysterious allure that calls to adventurers from around the globe. Yet, as we have discovered, within its awe-inspiring depths lie stories of mystery and tragedy, tales that remind us of the delicate balance between humanity and the formidable forces of nature. The Grand Canyon, with its intricate history, geology, and countless personal narratives that have played out over its ridges and valleys, stands as a testament to the unpredictable and often perilous nature of the great outdoors. From the tragic loss of Dr. Sarah Beadle to the hundreds of souls who have met their fate within the canyon's embrace, each story serves as a reminder of the respect of this natural wonder. But let us not forget, amidst the tales of caution and sorrow, the Grand Canyon also offers moments of unparalleled beauty, introspection, and the thrill of exploration that can only be found in such a wild and untamed landscape. In a place where the spirit of adventure meets the raw power of the natural world, where each step taken along its winding trails can lead to breathtaking discoveries and the kind of profound experiences that only the grandest of canyons can provide. To you, our dedicated viewers, we extend our deepest gratitude for joining us on this remarkable journey. Your unwavering support and curiosity have made it possible for us to delve into the heart of these mysteries, sharing stories that remind us of beauty and fragility in our existence within this vast, ancient landscape. Your enthusiasm fuels our mission to uncover the hidden stories that lie waiting in the shadows of the world's most mysterious places. We invite you to continue supporting our journey into the unknown by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. Your engagement is the compass that guides our exploration, and with every like, share, and subscription, it helps us venture further into the mysteries that our world has to offer. If you feel moved by these stories that we've shared, consider leaving a super comment. Your generosity enables us to keep bringing these captivating tales to light, enriching our collective understanding of the natural wonders that surround us. As we part ways with the Grand Canyon, let's carry with us the lessons and the stories heard, allowing them to inspire a deeper appreciation for the mysteries that our planet holds. The Grand Canyon, in its beauty and untold stories and secrets, continues to be a source of wonder and intrigue, a place where the past and present converge in a landscape as mysterious as it is magnificent. Thank you once again for watching, for your curiosity, and for your support. Until we meet again, let the mysteries of the Grand Canyon and the countless other wonders of our world inspire you to explore, to learn, and to always seek the beauty that lies just beyond the horizon.